5 or 6 cars not finishing. And we'll see what can happen. Anything can happen next week, especially in Monaco, Moose.
Yeah, absolutely. A very tight, very technical track, the Monaco circuit, where it's incredibly difficult to overtake, as quite a lot of our viewers will know. On controller, I've heard that it is borderline impossible, Monaco, in this new game. Not sure if you want to weigh in on the wheel, mate, but all reports are saying that it is very, very hard to race at Monaco on this game.
Well, I put a couple laps in after Tier 3 last night, after we abandoned that one, and it doesn't even feel good on the wheel. Like, I was doing similar times to I was last year, but it felt terrible. Just the understeer characteristics of the car just makes it feel awful. So, good luck to you and your friends on controller. I have no idea how you're going to manage that one.
Well, if the higher ups are listening, let's abandon Monaco and we'll go back to Spain.
I have a feeling that something's going on already with the lobby here, because Donnie's lagged out, who is our lobby host usually, and I can't even get to send him an invite. So no idea what's going on. We also were awaiting Rui in the Alston Martin. So we'll hold 5 while whilst we await further news from upstairs from the FIA.
Just if those guys that have already readied up, if they can hear us, if you can unready up, just in case we have a little bit of an issue.
Yes, we'd appreciate that from those who are ready up. Not too many of them, so at the moment not an issue, but yes. And Spain, it's not a bad track for racing. It feels pretty solid to drive. Overtaking isn't the easiest, but if you follow closely through the third sector, you have a great chance down into turn number 1 with how powerful the slipstream and DRS combined are this year.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And we did have one of our pre-season races at Barcelona, and turn 7, turn 8, turn 9, and I think it's turn 11 or 12 up there at the top, at the hill, proved very, very deadly. There was quite a few of our drivers that we had to get medical attention for. The curbs on this track are just absolute mayhem, and it would be nice if we could get racing here tonight, but we don't want any of our drivers to crash either. So good clean racing, but the boys, you have to take it easy out there.
Absolutely. Setting up a little poll here for everyone whilst we wait. Maybe we'll have to get the elevator music on while we wait.
The poll should be, is Moose a sex symbol?
Well, that's just a rhetorical question, Moose. That's the problem. Yeah, put a little poll up there for everyone to have a little say if the news will continue this evening.
There should be a third option there of hope not.
Hope not. I don't know if I can add that actually. Maybe I can.
Nick Magoo saying, "Wait for Donnie. He's just disconnected." So
yes, we are awaiting. We are awaiting Donnie. I can't send him an invite, Nick. So if you can, that would be good. But if you also can't, probably means there's an underlying issue with his lobby, which doesn't exactly speak well for the rest of the season's
Don't you
events.
dare!
It's going to be fine, Moose. I've got positive outlook. I've got good feelings about this. Good vibes.
Oh, happy days.
But yeah, so it's not good when the host disconnects. You're not wrong there, Nick. So you know what? We're bringing it back. The elevator music is back, baby. It is back, and it's on.
It was almost the driver of the day, the elevator music yesterday.
Absolutely, it should have had a vote. No, I'm not sure yet. I'll keep everyone updated.
Nick Magoo just asking if who's running this, Gladys. Big tip of the hat to Gladys Palaszczuk, who's absolutely destroyed New South Wales.
Who's just fucked the rest of the excuse me, but yeah, you know what I mean. Proverbially cocked up the rest of the country. And,
thanks, Gladys.
It almost seems like they've given up and they're just waiting for vaccination to pull them out of the hole that they've dug themselves into.
Mate, and speaking of the Ronaness, Victoria extending their lockdown by another 7 days at least, mate. I don't know where in the world you are. I think you're a Victorian.
Yes, I reside from Melbourne, mate, so I feel your pain.
Yeah.
I feel your pain. We're lockdown buddies, Moose number 6 now, and I'm getting over it. But you've got to do it too. You got to practice. It gives us a whole week to practice from Monaco, so that's something.
No, I'm essential.
Oh, well, you're essential. I'm just a pleb. But Emmanuel, thank you for flying, mate. Appreciate it. We're trying to get this one underway. Just Cody's playing havoc.
I am fortunate enough to work in the fire safety industry, so very essential.
That is definitely an essential job, mate. Nothing but respect for you fireys out there.
Well, I should lend context to that. I am a volunteer firey, but my paid work is like fire extinguishers, fire panels and stuff like that. So it's like fire safety. But you know what? Thank you, mate. As a volunteer firey, thank you.
Just pumping up your tyres, Moosey.
Yeah, that's it.
Did you have an update on dinner? What did the wifey order? We just waiting for. We're waiting on.
She gave me a dirty look.
Absolute.
She gave me a dirty look and walked away. So
I'm hearing that Absolute is coming in replace of Rui in the Aston.
Tier 3 driver.
We'll see what he's
Absolute.
like. So he was our pole sitter or he definitely was the pole sitter last night. And unfortunately the race didn't go ahead. But we'll see what he can do in the Tier 2 division. Obviously being at the head of the Tier 3 field. We'll see where the sort of crossover point is. Obviously the pace at the top of one division is very similar to somewhere in the back middle or even the front of the Tier 2 field. We will see. And he is in. So everyone ready up. Let's get this one underway. After we have been delayed 10 minutes. But hopefully that's the only issues we have tonight. And it's now time for qualifying. And it's the green light. I've got the red flag. I need to get the green flag so I can put on the
well,
thing.
mate, before we kick it off, mate, do you have your water bottle with you this week?
I do, but I should. It's running a little bit low, mate. So I might just
go and get yourself a beverage, mate. And we got 10 seconds.
Go get myself a bev, and you can take care of it until I'm back.
So we are just loading in here for Q1 of this Barcelona race. Q1, we will lose the bottom 5 drivers as we do every single week. We'll then progress to Q2 where tyre strategy is most important. The top 10 will go through from Q2 on the tyre they set their fastest lap time on. Q3 is where we play for all the marbles, and that'll sort out the top 10 into their starting positions. So we're just seeing, we're waiting for just one more driver to load in here, and we will get this session underway. So we'll try and get that elevator music turned off now.
All right, I got it. Music. We've reached our floor. We've reached Q1, and it's time for some racing action, Moosey. I've got the water bottle, and I've got my enthusiasm. I think I see an Alpine again will be the first one out down the pit lane. Darkness Abyss, and we've already got our first hashtag ArsDeezy. Do you have the yellow and green flag? No, I don't. Something to look into.
What is a yellow and green flag?
Oh, I think he meant a yellow one and a green one, as in the separate ones.
Oh dear.
But
that kid asks questions about as good as he chugs a beer. So.
Oh, Venti's been absolutely violated there.
Oh dear. Love you, Venti.
Alright, Darkness Abyss, the Alpine, number 8. And I've said it before, but I reckon a lot of drivers running the number 8, with it being released from Roman Grosjean after his exit from the sport. But he's going alright in IndyCar. He's already had a couple of podiums over there in IndyCar, so Roman showing his class in a car that's competitive.
Well, he had to be good somewhere, and it was either go-karts or IndyCar, so we'll jump on board with Darkness Abyss, as we won't jump on board with Darkness Abyss.
He's back in the pit lane, so last week's race winner Nat Hammer will be the one to take us onwards. I'm sorry, it was Kraken who won last week, his teammate, but the Haas team is underway. And here we go! So, take us through the lap, Moosey.
Yeah, absolutely. Just coming down into turn 1 here, get as wide as you can and open the car right up to yourself. Stay off that exit curb on the left-hand side there, because it will turn you around. Up through 3, nice long right-hander as you come to the end of the first sector. That's not a bad sector from him at all, a 21.7. Get on the power nice and early, but don't run too wide coming through onto this left-hander. Stay off the curb on the exit there, as you will invalidate. This is the corner that will catch out a lot of drivers tonight. Turn 7 there, turn 8. Coming up into turn 9 now. This is another corner that if you put the power down too early, you will turn yourself around into the wall, and it is very, very harsh indeed. End of the second sector there. This is another corner here, turn 12 there, that'll turn a lot of cars around if they get it wrong. Takes a nice tight line through there, that's not bad at all. Get on the brakes and just let the car flow through this third sector. That is the key here. Don't get too trigger happy on the power and come and straighten yourself up onto the main straight. That is a 1:16.3 from Nat Hammer, and that is not a bad time at all.
That's a good banker time to have early on. To see if the boys can chase. Here comes the stick, and he's coming towards the line now, and he's going to not match him, he's going to better him at a 16.1, so the times are coming in hot and fast. Here comes Donny in the McLaren, his teammate tucked up in behind, so Donny goes third as it stands, and Nick Magoo just pips him by a couple tenths of a second there in the McLaren, and I think we've got the Alfa Romeo spun at the final corner. It's Fury. So Fury's had a bit of an incident out of that final corner, just maybe lining up the rears a little bit, trigger happy as you were saying before, and Milligains is into the 15, so we're already into the 15s here in Q1. I think we had M-Stone coming across the line, yes, in the Williams, he settled up time there of a 16.7, and now JK just coming through the final chicane for the Alfa Romeo. Hopefully he can navigate that a little bit smoother than his teammate managed on that first attempt here. But here comes Jake Kelly. Let's see what he can lay down here to early on. It's a 17.4, so a little bit off the pace for JK. We'll see if he can claw back some time throughout the session. And here, there's even more and more cars coming. It just gets even more difficult to keep up with where they all are throughout the session.
Good lap time, a 16.1.
That's a great lap from Johnny and Paul. I think an Alpine's just coming across the line to open up a lap. Yeah, that's Darkness Abyss. Your teammate Dino is also just opening up a lap in the Ferrari, mate. Yeah. Who's that around in the middle sector? It was an Alpha Tauri, I think 2.5. Maybe just on an outlap. Yeah, on an outlap. Not sure if he's had a spin or just letting cars pass.
I'll tell you what, mate, Dino 420 fan, he looks to have a real twitchy setup.
We'll go on board with Dino 420 fam. It's the way to be fast, but it's definitely not exactly the easiest way to control the cars to maximise curb use and get maximum straight line speed, but it can cost you a price in corners like these, mate, down 7, 8 and 9, where you really need that extra downforce to keep you planted.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing, I think that's a Red Bull going very slowly in the first sector. No, not a Red Bull.
Alpha Tauri, I think that is 2.5 once again, mate.
They're all blue.
It's a big problem. There's a Red Bull as well. So we're still coming up with Dino. So he goes past the two cars on the right-hand side, down into 13. Apex is nicely there. It doesn't touch that sausage curve, which can bounce you around. It's the same conditions here in the final chicane. And not running too much of the exit there, just keeping it nice and safe and valid as it's only Q1. And Dino goes up in the second, just marginally behind behind Milligains.
I actually think the Dino's got a fair bit in hand there. That's a long way off his cleanest lap.
I agree, mate. But as we're going to keep saying it, Q1's about being outside the bottom 5, mate. It's not about setting your ultimate pace.
Riding on board with Kraken, and he just got a huge tank slapper at turn 2.
Yes, he's backed out of that lap. He must have had a pretty big one to back out of it early here in Q1. Crazy Kiwi, he's on an invalid lap. We'll go on board with Flourish. He's just starting his account. Darkness Abyss, he went up into 8th position. Who else has set a lap in that time? Fury set a lap time after that early spin. But Flourish here in the Aston, let's see what he can do.
Yeah, absolutely. He's taken a very nice line through there. I don't mind that wider line to get through those group of corners. As it just helps you get on the power nice and early as he comes past Kraken on the left here. Into turn 7, where a lot of drivers have had problems, especially in our pre-season testing races. Comes onto the main back straight now. Sorry, we've got some yellow flags. I'm not sure if that's just someone trying to give themselves a little bit of room, mate. It is a McLaren in front of us here.
Yeah, maybe just on an
runs very wide there and invalidates.
Yeah, invalidation. We saw, I think it was Janoku do that in Q3 last night, which spelled his chances at pole position as Brad Tay's just opening up his lap. But we'll go back to Crazy Kiwi in the Mercedes. Just coming around turn 9, he took a pretty nice line through there, keeping up the speed quite nicely, as we've got a bit of a weird camera angle here, just showing us the rear wing.
Oh, so, you got the rear wing. I got the halo shot.
Well, we'll go on board with him. That solves all sorts of problems. So not running it too wide there. I'm really finding that's probably one of the more track extending corners that's catching people out. But Kiwi hopped that curb in the final chicane and cost him a good exit out of that one. But here we go. Kiwi sets a 17.5, so we know he's definitely got more in him.
Yeah.
Who else is out there? We've got Flourish. He's on another lap.
Flourish is on a lap.
Brad Tay's just about to finish up his lap. He's in sector 3. And Crazy GK and Nodsky, thank you for the follow, lads. Welcome. We're riding on board with Brad Tay here in the Mercedes, just coming around 14 and 15. This clumsy chicane, as Martin Brundle, I think, describes it every other year. And now coming towards line. This could be a good one from Brad Tay, I think.
Yeah, it's not a bad lap at all. It is a 16.4, which will probably see him safe. I seem to think that a 16.5 will be the cutoff. We've yet to see quite a handful of drivers posting
there goes Flourish at a 16.2. His teammate, the reserve, our pole sitter from last night, Absolute, is coming out of the final chicane now. What's he got in the Aston? Let's see what his pace is relative to this Tier 2 field.
If you don't mind.
Top 6. So
wow,
Flourish just beating his reserve teammate of Absolute. So a very strong showing from him so far. We've got who we got? Tabbed is coming through the final corners now as Kraken sets the fastest lap so far. It's a 15.6, so goes a few tenths clear of Milligains and Dino at the front, and Tabbed, he's up into 4th position as well. So Red Bull's looking good as well. Suicide 5 for my Alpine outfit is coming around the final corner now.
2.5 just behind him as well.
That's the other 5. 2.5 is now coming. What's he got? And 8th for 2.5. So a nice little lap from 2.5 on his reserve appearance here.
Yeah, absolutely. And so after pretty much round 1 of everyone's first laps, your bottom 5 read as follows. Blue Dog. Sorry, Blue Dog. You are not in the bottom 5. Mr. Fury Strat, OSRL Donny, Jay Kelly, Crazy Kiwi, and Suicide 5 are your bottom 5 drivers at the moment. But mate, looking at that, my prediction of a 16.5 to get you through is absolutely wrong.
Yeah, definitely in the ballpark.
Not necessarily, because the 16.5 is currently getting Blue Dog through. So.
Yeah. Well, it's ever close, mate. But if you look from P2 to P15 is 0.6, mate.
Yeah. Well, mate, from P2 to P19 is a second. So that just shows you how close this Tier 2 competition really is.
We'll go to Donny in the McLaren. He's out again on a new set of the sticky soft compound tyres. And he's just coming around turn 5 now. Look to get a little bit wayward on the entry, which would have caused him to get off the throttle or not get on it quite as early. Compromising his run down through the kink at 6 to turn 7, and now he's rising up the hill to turn number 9 and down the back straight. DRS is open in the McLaren, and he's a tenth and a half up, and he's going to have to find a little bit more time to be safe to the likes of Blue Dog, Darkness Abyss, Fury. We know Fury has definitely got a lot more in him, as he got a compromised exit to the start of his lap, and he runs wide up there at 13. At 12, and that's an invalidation for Donny on this lap, which looked like he was going to be improving.
Yeah, he's that's very unlucky, as he was on for a time to get him up to about P11 or 12, so that's really hurt Donny there, and that invalidation.
Donny M4 off in the gravel and just lightly, very lightly into the barrier at turn 7, and he's just got to get this thing turned around quickly so he doesn't get disqualified, and nicely done. And I was about to say, I would just flick to him so I could talk about the fact that it was interesting that he's out on track, being that he's easily in the top 5 and safe as, well, you think that he's safe at that position. The times are close, but he's still in the top 5, so no problem for him at the moment. And he's just racing his car as there. He was lucky not to go into the wall a little bit harder, and he comes through. He's 3 tenths up on his previous best, and if he can find a bit more time here in the third sector, that'll skyrocket him up into the top 10, probably towards the top 5 as well, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. And just on Johnny M4, he appears to have avoided any damage to his car at all.
Fury's struggling again there, mate. Sorry, out of the final corner. We saw him spin there earlier on. That's not going to help him on his endeavours, and no, it doesn't. So he loses a huge chunk of that time he found throughout the lap, and only goes 16th.
Yeah, this is the time where he really needs to put a lap together properly. Less than 5 minutes in this session now, and every lap you do is just going to be taking so much out of those tyres, with the wear being about 4 or 5% per lap on the soft compound tyre. Correct me if I'm wrong there, mate.
No, I think you're in the ballpark there. I think not quite as much as we had in Bahrain last week, but still some high degradation here.
Mate, Nick Magoo's off in the wall, and that is another victim at turn 7.
As we were saying before, mate, it's probably the deadliest corner on this circuit, and it's caught Nick Magoo out there. Looks like the front wing is intact. Might have a bit of minor damage somewhere on the car, but obviously we can't exactly determine that as it stands, as Johnny M4 goes past him now. Fury is down on his time, but he has time to come back into the pit lane and fit a new pair of tyres and get fueled up again for another run. And the dopiest Yeti, thank you, my friend, for the follow. And I'm not sure if JK here is pushing. I think he is. He's coming out of the final corner.
No. He'd be far too slow to be on a push lap. But I dare say
maybe slowing it up to go again.
Yeah, I dare say that he's just tried to get a little bit of battery power into his car throughout the last part of that lap, so that he can push on this lap, because he's absolutely wringing the neck of that Alfa Romeo. As I've just had a couple more viewers come into my stream, and welcome. So, mate, Jay Kelly, he's looked absolutely, he's looked very nice there, as Miller Gaines has done a 15.6 to be on top of the timesheets at the moment, and that is a very good lap there from Miller Gaines. So Jay Kelly, he's taken a lot of curb on that turn 7, but has got away with it. He has got away with it. So this is a very, very nice lap from Jay Kelly. But as I say that and have the telemetry pop up, he's a couple of tenths down. So if I'm not mistaken, mate, he did have a couple of issues. Have we got a car stopped on track?
I think just drivers moving out of the way for other
Williams
people.
of M-Stone, I'm pretty sure might have been turned around, unfortunately.
Here comes Jay Kelly. Let's see if he can improve. He improves by half a second, mate. So fighting a lot of 6 tenths there in the final sector, and up into a P11 as it stands. I think Brad Tay in the Mercedes was just coming across the line, and he is 14th as it remains at the moment. Suicide 5, he is out there on a lap as well as Blue. Everyone's almost out there at the moment, so no one not really feeling comfortable here. Everyone's feeling like the times are so close, they need to be out there. So I think 2-5 may be the leader of this gaggle of cars coming around, so we'll flick to him.
Gaggle of cars?
Train of cars, gaggle of cars.
Mate, they're not geese.
They're not that tightly bunched either, but I just used it. So here comes 2-5, currently sitting P8 at a 16.273. Let's see if we can find any time into the pit lane. So no, next car, I think that is a Alpine coloured dots or selection tool. Here comes Suicide 5, and he is only 18, so he's only just out, just by a couple of tenths. But those are the gaps, so both Alpines currently are in the drop. So here comes
sorry to cut you off there, mate. OSRL Donny, he's 3/10 up on his best time, so he's flying. He's just coming into the third sector now.
No worries, mate. I think your teammate of Blue Dog lifted himself up to 12th there in the other Ferrari. Here comes Donny in the McLaren. It's his third run here. Let's see if he can get outside of the drop zone. He was saying not one of his favourite tracks, but here he comes. It's 15th at the moment, so just enough. Fury is about to commence a lap. Brad Tay, I think, is charging his battery for another attempt. Darkness Abyss is out there. He is pushing. So we'll ride on board with him. He's coming up through turn 8 now, and he's going to have to find a few tenths of a second. And look at that, from 10th to 17th is 1/10. No, still going. And here he comes, so he's still down on his time. He needs to find time here in the final sector to get out.
Jeez,
oh, he's in the wall, mate. He's in the wall hard. Is Darkness Abyss there in the final sector. Luckily offline and not going to catch anyone out. But Suicide 5, he is coming towards the line. And can he get a lap time on the boards? No, he cannot. Crazy Kiwi, he's out there as well as Mr. Fury Strat. I think Brad Tay is out there pushing as well for the other Mercedes. No, he's not. So Brad Tay's session is over. Donny is going to have to hope that he can last in P15 there.
Mate, I was just on board with Mr. Fury Strat, and there is a massive chunk of someone's front wing parked in the middle of the track at turn 7. So is that catching a few drivers out here?
It might be. Here comes Kiwi. Can he get inside? He can.
Mr. Fury Strat. That is such disappointment for Mr. Fury Strat. He got too trigger happy coming out of the final corner and absolutely lit the tyres up.
Once again, Fury struggling in that final corner. It means he is out. Suicide 5, he is the sole driver out there pushing at the moment, as Brad Tay ahead of him is on an in-lap. So can Suicide 5 find the time? He's going to have to find just a little over 3/10, or just a little under 3/10, sorry. It's 2.99 tenths for him to get out. So can he do it? He was even with his time to the second sector. He's going to have to find it all here in the final sector. Can he do it to get out of Q1? No, he can't.
Does improve,
so
but not enough.
Look, the whole field is separated by less than a second with 20 drivers.
Well, mate, I'm going to say it straight up. Absolute, you take a bow, mate, because you are a Tier 3 driver and you have mixed it in with the best of Tier 2 and currently are P10. So, absolute, take a bow, mate.
Absolutely. You're not wrong with that one. It's a bit ironic to use
pun intended
with that driver's name, but yes. We are going to lose Fury, Suicide 5, Darkness Abyss, Donny, and who's the other one we're losing? I'm not sure. We'll find out in a second.
Mate, Venti got me.
To everyone.
Venti got me. His comment to Darkness went into the Abyss. That got me.
He did, mate. He sure did. And look at Milliganes and Kraken out there, mate. They're in a word of their own. They're up there at the front. We didn't see... Sorry, Donny made it, and he made it quite convincingly. My apologies, Donny.
Yeah.
He's in P4. But we didn't see Dino late in the session where the track can really ramp up, mate, and you can find quite a lot of time.
We also mentioned that Dino had a very ordinary lap.
We did say that, so definitely more in the tank for Dino. So it's the other McLaren, of Nick Magoo, Brad Tay and the Mercedes, the two Alpines. I'm a little bit heartbroken, and the Alfa Romeo of Fury, and that's a big shock to see him down there. But every lap we saw for him, he just struggled out of that final corner, and it would have cost him probably a few tenths on every attempt, meaning, when the gaps are that close, you're going to be out.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. That's the long and short of it. Is he got very trigger happy coming out of the final turn 2 or 3 times, and ultimately that's the reason he's now out of this session.
That's it, mate. So Q2 time, strategy time, and we had Ollie Formula. I think that's from Formula 4 Racing. Hello, my friend. Welcome, and JB88. Thank you, both of you, for the follows. We're here for Q2 now, and expect to see some mediums throughout this session. But with the field being so close, man, I think the delta's around 6 or 7 tenths, meaning you're really going to have to put in a storming lap to make it to the top 10.
Yeah, we saw all bar one driver last night make it work, so...
yeah, well, it's more of a question if people decide to go on softs as well. Because if certain other drivers don't go out on softs, that means it's easier to make those mediums make the journey to Q3. But we've got Tabbed out there. He's on a soft run. And we saw this from a few drivers last night, getting out early and setting a lap time to Shelley, set a delta time on the soft so that you can chase it later in the session on the mediums. So we'll see how it pans out. It's only the 2 drivers of Nat Hammer and Tabbed out there at the moment. But cars are coming down the pit lane. And expect to see everyone out there pretty shortly. But Tabbed, a reserve, he's got some good pace as well.
Yeah, he absolutely does, mate. Not sure who the first man is out on track there, unfortunately.
It is in the Red
Bull. Yes, you are right. Yeah, for a reserve driver coming in tonight, not quite sure who he's filling in for. But yeah,
it's Roscoe he is filling in for, who's just rounding out a final part of a GT Sport Championship, I believe. So he'll be back next week. But here comes Tabbed in his seat, and we'll go through it with you guys. So down towards turn number 1. Does he use that outside curve? He does. If you use a certain amount of it, it can bounce you, mate. It's a bit of luck. So pushing and qualifying. Now he hugs to the right through turn number 3. Washing out wide, mate. Washing very wide, which is not going to help him, as he's just lengthening the distance of the track, but up through Sector 1 it's a 21.7 for Tabbed, and round turn 4 really making use of the full width of the track there, and down through turn number 5, hugging the apex once again, and now running out onto the exit curving to maximise his apex speed, and now through the tricky uphill turn of 7 and 8, and towards turn number 9. Can he navigate this one without incident? A pretty sizable lift there from Tabbed, and not really using much of that exit curve there. But the DRS is open once again for the second time in the lap, down towards turn 10 on the brakes, through the apex, and up again through at turn 11 and 12. And now you've just got to make sure you don't run it out too wide here to the left, and he doesn't. And now just slightly missing the apex there at 13. And is he backed off, or is it just an engine glitch playing with my ears? No, he is backing off. He is definitely backing off. So Tabbed just got his lap time on the board to chase for the mediums.
Yeah.
And there you go, it's at 18.9, which is easily beatable on the medium compound. Nat Hammer, I suspect, may be doing the same here in the Haas as he's coming towards line. Yeah, the ERS isn't even turned on for the entirety of this lap. So Nat Hammer setting a delta lap as well to chase later on. Who else have we got? I think Skig is the next one, but he's on an out lap. So it'll be the other Red Bull of Johnny M4. And he's already out on the mediums, and he's done a 49.9 to the middle sector. So that's a good, very good time through the middle sector. So Johnny M4 is on a cracker here.
Yeah, the Stig doing a
lot. Oh no,
of...
I've just cursed him, mate. He's run it wide there up at 12. No invalidation, but he was in the gravel. And that's not going to help him on his quest here to make the mediums work. So he's coming out of the final corner. Let's see what he sets here despite that off. And it's a 16.4.
Oh, that is an impressive lap from Johnny.
And he wasn't just in the gravel. He was pretty hard in the gravel there for a second. And JK is a 17.4. So that just speaks, the rest of the lap from Johnny M4 was absolutely outstanding, mate.
Yeah, Stig's done a 21.7 for the first sector. Stig was really trying to work all of his tyres, quite a lot at the latter part of his outlap. So there is a lot of tyre warming going on there for the Stig as he came and started his lap. He's coming up into the latter part of Sector 2 now, and he's got that DRS rear wing wide open, just tries to stay a little bit off that curb on the left-hand side there and takes a very tight line through this last part of the track. Nice lap here from the Stig. He's looked very impressive. Gets on that sausage curb, which just unsettles that car a little bit. And he will come around the final corner now as we've got yellow flags waving for a Red Bull. And the Stig does a 16.8, so that may not be enough.
This is really just showing how good the lap was from Johnny M4. Despite that off, JK's coming around for his second attempt on the mediums. What's he got? So it's still 16.8 for JK, and Flourish goes to a 16.0 on the soft tyres. So his intention is clear to qualify on the softs. He probably will not be able to better that on a medium compound.
No, I think that's it's either a little bit of a mistake there from Flourish posting that lap on soft tyres, or he genuinely feels that he will have to get through this session on that soft compound tyre, because there is
that may be the case, mate.
No chance that he will beat that time on the medium compound tyre.
Well, I think if we see a lot of drivers electing the softs at the end of the session, it may only be that the likes of Milliganes, Dino and the Kraken, who may be able to make those mediums last, just with the little bit of pace advantage they have over the rest of the field. But we'll go on board with Absolute now, who has done a stunning job in the first of the qualifying sessions. He's out there on the mediums, so let's see what he's got. It's a 21.8 for the first sector, so a little bit slower than I think we saw for the likes of Johnny M4 and the Stig, but now he plunges down the hill and through the kink of turn 6 towards the most treacherous part of the track, where it's definitely easiest to throw away your lap here at turn 7, navigating that one quite nicely, and a big lift there from Absolute. It's just you just need to lift much more than you were required last year.
Well, it's more to settle the car, isn't it?
That's it. It's so you don't run it out wide and get twitchy. But I think he's about 7/10 down on what Johnny M4 had done through that second sector, but obviously he's not off in the gravel here in sector 3, so let's see what he can do as he just tries to navigate this final chicane. And it's just important to keep as much speed up there as possible, sort of just roll the car through rather than trying to force it through with the throttle. And there you go, to 16.8. So that's just showing that how much more speed Johnny M4 could have had without that final sector off. And we're now seeing some of the big guns out on track. The likes of Dino, Milliganes, and the Kraken, they're all out on laps. So Kraken is on a lap on the medium, so we'll go to him. But I think he's at a moment there in sector 1. He's at 23 for the first sector, and yeah, he's backed off again as the Kraken. So now, who else can we go?
We've had another Ask Deezy and hashtag Ask Moosey in the Twitch chat. Do you guys have the same number on your car every year, or do you change it up? Mate, I don't know about you, but I always have the number 13 on my car every season.
Oh, Absolute's out, mate.
Absolute's out.
Crashton's out. He is crashed out of the session up there at turn 9. So we've claimed our first victim up there at turn 9. We'll go on board with 2.5, and he's right in the middle of the track there, mate. So that might hamper a couple of people.
Dino. Yeah, he's planted right in the middle of the track there. That's quite unsafe. But he has been cleared now, so...
He's been cleared up. And I was sporting the number 88 in the previous seasons with Grosjean running number 8. I was born on the 8th of the month, and 8 has always just been my number that I've run for things. 8 is now available. I think I might just go back to 88 though, so that might be my racing number. And here comes Dino. What's he got? And he's behind Johnny M4. So Johnny M4's lap is holding. We've got Milliganes coming shortly. What can he provide here? Can he go above the likes? So he doesn't just go above them. He smashes them. It's a 15.9 on the mediums for Milliganes.
That is an absolutely cracking lap on those medium compound tyres. To put it into perspective for the viewers at home, Flourish Expire is a 10th off that time on the soft compound tyre.
Yes, he is, mate. So he's got some great pace in that. And what that means is he won't have to do a second lap on them, which is very important in terms of doing minimal wear of them going into the race. Dino's not going for it again, so he's sticking with what he's got. Here comes Tabbed, and he goes 5th position in the Red Bull. It's a 16.5, so the times are ever close once again as we're having more and more that pump set. Here comes Nathammer. He's coming out of the final corner. So is Kraken. So Kraken, he matches Milligains at a 15.9. And what can Nathammer do in the second hash car? It's 7 for Nathammer, but 6/10 off the back of Milligains and Kraken.
Yeah, I'm just riding on board here with 2.5, who does a 16.8 to put himself P11. Make that P12 now that M-Stone has done a lot.
Fourth, mate.
Yeah,
nice little lap there from M-Stone in the Williams.
With under 5 minutes to go here, the drivers at risk are Blue Dog, who's on a flyer at the moment. Crazy Kiwi still in the pits. Try and get yourself out on track if you can hear us, Kiwi. Jay Kelly is also in the pits. He'll need to go again. 2.5 has just come across the line. No, he hasn't.
Blue Dog's come across the line.
Blue Dog came across the line. 2.5 there is on a hot lap as well. Absolute, we will definitely lose after, putting it into the wall, not to beat around the bush. And OSRL Donny as well. He'll have to improve as well.
Yes, as we go back on board with Dino, mate. So he had that charge lap at the end of the first attempt, and he's 3/10 up at the end of the second sector. So Dino is maybe going to show us what kind of pace he's got. No, he's not!
He's in the
he's
wall!
off in the wall! He's gone in at a perfect angle in that the front tyres hasn't come off, just the front wing. He went in at a perfect 90-degree angle to the wall, and very lucky there for Dino.
Absolutely.
Who almost could have had a session-ending crash there. And with 3 minutes remaining, he will have the opportunity to get out once again. It may be tight, but he should have the time to get back out with a new front wing. But we'll go back to Blue Dog. He's in the second of the Ferraris, and he's not in the wall on this lap. He's on a push lap, but into the pit lane to Blue Dog. So that leaves Donny behind. What's he got for the mediums? Best time so far was on a soft compound tyre. And the intentions are clear of our drivers. They want to get through on the mediums, and he does better his time. He's up to 4th, is Donny. So that 4/10 improvement moved him a lot of positions there.
The track is really ramping up now, mate.
Yeah, it really is. Who else is out on track? 2.5.
2.5's on an out lap.
On an in-lap / out lap / charge lap / he's on a slow lap.
No, he's on an in-lap because his fuel light is blinking.
M4 improves by 0.7 of a second, and he's at a 15.8, and these are very quick times for the mediums now.
Yeah, too right. So we will see 2.5 into the pits. That'll have to be a very quick turnaround for the Alpha Tauri boys.
He won't make it. It's too late now.
You reckon?
By the time you roll to the drive down the pit lane and you wait for them to drag you in.
Oh yeah, true.
And you click go out. It's you'll be about a minute short probably. So we got a minute 45 remaining in the session, and it doesn't really look like many drivers are going to be coming out.
Well, mate, it's Blue Dog is not moving out of the pits. 2.5, he's very content in the pits as well. So too Jay Kelly. So Crazy Kiwi could be the only man to improve any position at the moment.
Well, Stig's out there. He's on the soft tyres. Nathammer's just come out on the mediums. Tab is just about to open up a lap on the mediums. And Tab's actually coming back into the pit lane. So, interesting. He is not coming out. Maybe he feels that in his current position he's safe. And he might be right, actually, with only one driver outside the top 10 actually coming out of the pits now. And that driver, he's on an outlap, but almost spinning it on the outlap is Crazy Kiwi. So I think Tab's made the right call there in that he will be safe. And the only real driver under threat is the Stig.
Yeah, two right there. Sorry, mate. But
right, mate.
Stig, once again, doing a lot of work to warm those tyres up.
Yes, he is. So we're right on board with Crazy Kiwi in the Mercedes. This is his one and only lap in the session, and he is the only driver out there who's going to do anything about the order, about the bottom 5. It will be him or the Stig going through unless the Stig improves over Nathammer. So there you go. We'll lose one driver more. It'll be Crazy Kiwi or someone else. So Kiwi to the first sector, 22.1. He's going to have to pick up the pace to get in. It is ever close at the front. So down through turn number 5, really maximising the width on exit there with that curb. And once again on exit, and the checkered flag is waving. So we have just the 4 drivers out, or the 3 drivers out there, sorry, on laps. So up through the second sector now comes Crazy Kiwi, and he has a big snap there on the entry.
Yeah.
I could see him working the steering wheel hard as that tyre's still sitting there from absolute crash. And it's a 50.7. He's really got to step on it now so he can make it.
I think he's going to struggle, mate. He's about 3.5 tenths off the pace of the boys around him. And he's really going to have to pull something out of the bag in this third sector. Comes around the final corner now, and we'll see what the lap time is. It won't be enough because he's done a 17.5 to be slowest of all drivers. So, mate, that is Q2 done and dusted because the stick has invalidated and Nat Hammer is on an in-lap. So, ladies and gents at home, that is Q2 all over and done with. We will lose Crazy Kiwi, J Kelly 2.5, absolute 9.7, mate. Absolutely ripping performance from him to qualify P12, a reserve driver tonight from Tier 3. So he's got some great pace. And
Absolutely.
Blue Dog there, P11. Mate, if you're not going to make Q3, P11 is definitely where you want to start.
You're not wrong, mate. And we didn't see it. Well, we didn't really get to see any racing last night. But no one elected the hard tyres at the start last night.
No, it wouldn't let me. I wanted to go the hard tyres at the start.
I did hear that. But with everyone up the front on mediums, besides Florish Expire, I believe, I think the hards may be the best option, considering starting further down the grid to get some sort of difference from those starting ahead. But you could also run the softs as a point of difference. But Dub13 Gaming, thank you for the host, and Macintosser, thank you for the follow, my friend. Oliver, welcome into the chat. Hello, my friend. And yes, so we're going to be losing Blue Dog, Absolute 2.5, J Kelly, and Crazy Kiwi from the session. And yes, a 15.8 on mediums. You're not mistaken. It is very quick here, and this is Tier 2. This isn't even Tier 1, mate. What are we going to see tomorrow night?
Oh, mate. Who knows, but I will definitely be tuned in for it because it is going to be amazing.
Hopefully I can pull it in a bit of a lap that does us justice, but I'm going to have to be low to mid-15s and meds to have any chance of it tomorrow night. But, Moosey,
yes,
I'm going to take your prediction for pole here. Who do you reckon is going to claim it?
Whoa. Without sounding too much like a Ferrari fanboy, I really think we haven't seen the best of Dino 420 fam here.
We haven't seen a proper good lap from Dino. He was in the wall in that session. He was squirrely in the first run. We did mention that setup's not looking too good, but I think that may have been a curb incident down there at 11.
His setup in that Ferrari looks very twitchy.
Yeah, I think that it might have been a curb-related issue at turn 11 there on the mediums there in Q2, but the first one in Q1 was definitely down to the setup.
Yeah.
But here we go. We have 12 minutes on the clock. It's ticking down already, so the green light is on at the end of the pit lane. And expect to see the drivers out shortly. We've got a McLaren and Aston mechanics running out, and there you go. They appear out of the garage. So the drivers will be out very shortly for their lap time.
Flourish, first man on track.
I do believe that these... Well, I know Donnie definitely probably won't have 2 sets of tyres for this session. Mm-hmm. I believe that Flourish may be the same in that he did run the softs in Q2. So these 2 drivers may be the 2 that only have 1 fresh set of softs, and they will be running them at the end of the session, I suspect, mate, when the track is at its absolute best in qualifying after all of the laps have been pumped in. We've also got Dino 420 fam, Nat Hammer, and Milligains. They've come out as well as, I think Red Bull's just ventured out now, that is tabbed. But yeah, I think the four that are my probably top 4 prediction is going to be Dino, Milligains, Kraken, and then Johnny and Paul as well. His lap there has woken me up there in Q2. I thought he might have been a little bit further back from them, but there you go. He's put an absolute stonker in Q2. Let's see if he can do it again for pole position here.
Yeah, too right, mate. Oh, as I just finishing my toast, Flourish Expire coming around, and he will be the first man on a hot lap here for Q3 of the Tier 2 competition in the OSRL. He will get nice and wide and as late on the brakes as humanly possible. Into turn 1 and through turn 2. A lot of drivers have just struggled to navigate turn 2 there, but he does it very, very nicely indeed. What sort of time are we looking at for the end of the first sector? I have no idea because I forgot to turn my telemetry on.
I think it was a 21.5 from Flourish, but I think we're looking for 21.432. If you can pump in a 2, that'll be a very good first sector. But here comes Flourish up the hill through 7 and 8. Navigates that one nicely. Now turn 9. Will he fall victim like his teammate Absolute did in the previous session? But no, not electing to run any of that exit curve. Same for Donny in the background there. So it's a 50-0. And I believe we saw a 49 on the medium from Johnny M4. So Flourish, I do suspect that will be a new set for Flourish Expire here. At the start of the session, as there's a yellow flag somewhere out there.
Yeah, for the Ferrari.
Sure. Yeah, down that back straight. It also could be for the Stig, who's just on an outlap, as Dino is on a hot lap. But here we go. Here comes Flourish, and he lays down the time. It's a 16.2, so not quite the time he managed in Q2. Donny goes into the 15.8s, so a nice little lap time from him. Dino is next in the Ferrari. He's on an invalid lap, unfortunately.
He's really struggling to get a grip on that car, mate.
He is. Milligain's also on an invalid, mate. So, two of the faster drivers out there. Nat Hammer is coming into the pit lane after his lap time, so I think it may have been an invalid there from Nat Hammer as well. Kraken's only opening up his lap attempt at the moment. Here comes Tab in the Red Bull. He's invalidated as well, mate. So, only 2 times at the moment. There's M Stone in the Williams. He's coming round the final corner, so he's going to settle out some here. Can he get to the front row? Yes, he can. So he is at a 16.1 as it stands. Here comes Johnny M4, who set that cracking lap.
Kraken is on a flyer. He's done a 21.3 for the first sector.
He is flying, but so is Johnny M4.
Ooh, Johnny M4, that is a lap and a half.
It sure is. Dino's coming around to the final sector. 49.8 for the middle sector. Back-to-back pushes, so not ideal.
Oh, he's around!
He spun, so Dino really struggling here. Milligains, he's invalidated once again as well. So these front runners are struggling. We'll go to Kraken now. He's coming around the same complex where we've seen trouble for the 2 ahead. Hooking up the apex there at turn 13 and now rolling through 14 and 15. As he's working that steering wheel, and now on the power towards the finish line he comes. What's the time going to be? He just waits for it to come up in front of his eyes. It's a 15.2. The Stig's about to post his first lap time of the session, and it's a 1:36. So it must have been an issue on that one for him. Tab pulling into the pit lane after his first lap attempt. Same for M Stone. So at the moment, it's Kraken and Johnny M4 who are up there at the front after issues. Big issues for Dino as well as Milligains, and Hammer's already out once again.
Stig is on another push lap, mate. Stig has done a 21.5 for the first sector.
Alrighty, so Sticky's pushing out there. Not quite what we saw from
yellow
Kraken
flags in sector 2. That'll be just for the that'll just be for Kraken getting out of the way there.
Yeah, just the Kraken moving out of the way. He's on an outlap. Sorry, on an in-lap, my friend. But here comes the Stig up through turn 9, using that inside curve very nicely.
Wow.
And not really much of a lift there compared to what we've seen from previous drivers. It's a 15.0, so he's going to have to pick up a couple more tenths here in the final sector if he's going to challenge the likes of the Kraken. But he might be on a similar pace to Johnny M4.
Oh, and he goes wide!
Up there, 12, the exit of 12. We've seen so many drivers do that throughout the 3 sessions so far, and it's really catching them out. So we're going board with Nat Hammer. He's just coming through turn 3 now. And let's see if he can match his teammate, taking a nice little tight line there on the exit of turn 3 towards turn 4. It's a 21.4. So that's a pretty solid lap, a sector time from Nat Hammer in the first sector. And he's maybe running a bit more downforce. He can pick up a bit more time now in the second and third sectors. whereas in the first sector it's all about straight line speed and high speed performance. But here comes Nat Hammer up through the top of the hill of turn 9, and the DRS will open now as he rides down towards turn 10. Maybe check something in the telemetry, in the tyre temps, that sort of thing. If that's his thing, maybe a brake bias change as well. Here he comes up through turn 4. A nice tight line on the apex, but runs it out and swings it back in up through 13 now. Avoiding that sausage curve on the inside. Hooked it up very nicely and now rolling through the final chicane, but similar to Fury.
Oh, wow.
Very similar to Fury there. A bit of inside curve and a bit of throttle. And he was almost round there, and a decision to abort that one and come into the pit lane. So now we'll go to Dino 420 Fam, your teammate in the Ferrari. T1 is tomorrow night, 7:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that is almost an hour. It starts about an hour before the current time tomorrow night. But here comes Dino. We haven't seen a clean lap yet in qualifying from him. And can he put something in competitive now? It's a 21.4, so he matches what the Nat Hammer was on.
Yeah.
From the first sector. I think we saw a high 21.3 from Kraken. But Dino's just got to get a lap on the board here.
Is Dino 420 Fam a controller player?
Let's ride on board and assess this, these
it
wheel
could
movements.
it could explain why he looks a little bit twitchy.
I'm not sure. If he's on a controller, he's doing a good job of it.
Yeah.
It just depends. People have different driving styles, especially on the wheel. You can be a bit more aggressive with turning, or you can be a bit more staggered and jagged. There's a nice little rhyme there. But here comes Dino, so he should get a lap here on the board and should be relatively competitive as we're coming around the final corner now. Can Dino challenge Kraken for pole? Not this attempt, but he's got a lap time on the board. But I think he may have fueled up.
Tab's in the wall.
No,
Tab's in the wall.
He is in the wall, mate, out there at turn 7 and 8.
Turn 7 has claimed another victim.
There you go. So is there damage on that car? I suspect there's.
Yes.
Sure, maybe. Yes, there is.
He has definitely lost a left-hand end plate on that car.
Yes, he has. Johnny M4, he was just coming down the back straight, but he's backed off of this lap, interestingly enough. So he'll go again. He should have the fuel to go once again. Just being the minimum fuel that you can put in the car means that you should be able to get 2 laps here at the end of Q3 when you don't have to really worry about an in-lap, as Flourish expires out there on an out-lap. And Dino, his fuel light is on, so he will not have another attempt. So that is Dino's lap time on the board and done. He will have to sit and wait and watch as the other drivers go for it. And now, speaking of going for it, we're right on board with Johnny M4.
Tab has just taken the rest of that front wing off with a very, very aggressive into the pits. He actually hit the remainder of his front wing on the pit entry.
Alright, a nice sweeping line for Johnny M4 in the first sector. 10th off his best, but he may find time elsewhere during the lap. And around turn 4 now towards 5. Hard on the brakes. Now, nicely trail braking there, Johnny M4 into the corner. Getting some nice rotation and running wide on the exit to get that power down. And now up through 7 and 8. A little twitch there at the apex as he exited turn 7 through 8. And here we go, down the back straight. The DRS is open for the final time. Actually, I think he gets a little bite of it before the finish line. But 2 tenths down now. He's really going to have to pull a spectacular third sector out here. And let's see what he can do. So, nice sweeping line again from Johnny M4 in the Red Bull. But clobbers that curve there. But it seemed to rotate the car actually quite nicely. And here we go. Final corner for Johnny M4. This will be his lap time. Can he better his previous best? No, he can't. So he stays second for the moment. Milligains, he's just on an out lap at the moment. So Flourish expires coming towards the line. He goes third. And he's found quite a bit of time there, has Flourish expire on that new set of softs compared to the, I think, U set he was on previously. So 15.5 for Flourish. You'll be happy with that one, I suspect, mate. Donny, who looked like he was almost going to be out in Q1, sits fifth at the moment for the McLaren boys, that papired McLaren. And he's just got now 2 corners to go on his final attempt here, I suspect, in qualifying. Can he get anywhere near the front 2 rows? He's put himself onto the second row at the moment ahead of Dino. who his session is over. The next one around is M-Stone. He's a 10th up on his previous best through the middle of the lap. And he's rounding the final corner as we ride through on the nose cam towards the finish line. Can he get up the field? He improves by 2.5 tenths, but it doesn't move him anywhere. His teammate, the Sticks, just starting his lap. Milligains, he is out there on his lap. Kraken's just started his, as well as Nahammer, and I don't think Tab's going to make it to the flag, mates. No, he is not. So he is done. So we'll go to Milligains. He's in the final sector now. He don't think he's going to be challenging the Kraken here. He's a few tenths down on
it was
Kraken.
his entry. It was his entry into the third sector here. He had to get on the brakes to make sure he didn't invalidate the lap time because he ran very, very wide there near turn 12.
Yeah, right. So a little mistake there from Milligains, and it's definitely cost him. He's gone to a 16.1 only. So a little bit off the pace we may have expected. Donny, he's in the final quarter now. He's pushing once again, so we'll watch him ride his lap out over the finish line now. And can he improve? Just can't slightly. So the next one in the wombs is the Stick, with that lap time on the board, but not a competitive one. So he will definitely be improving, but by how much? Where can he go? Stick, I'd say any of these boys are in with a shot to get towards the front row or two, just with how close it is bunched up at the front. But what can Stick do? What can he deliver here at the death? With the clock is expired. It's only 7th at the moment. So here come the two Haas boys. Nat Hammer is the first one to go. He's coming around the final corner. This is quick from Nat Hammer. It's 4th position. Kraken is invalidated there. So his lap is over.
M-Stone into the pits. That is it.
M-Stone into the pits. So that's it. So Kraken claims pole position here from Johnny and Ford. Flourish expire, mate. That's very well done from him. Nat Hammer makes it 2 in the top 4 for Haas. Donny will be severely happy with that one as well, I suspect. Dino, who appeared to struggle throughout the entirety of that qualifying session, is in 6th. M-Stone and the Stick make it at all 4th row Williams affair. And Milligain's probably the biggest surprise there, down in P9, who look to be definitely one of our strongest contentions for pole. Milligains and Tab, who just didn't get a lap time on the board, unfortunately.
Yeah, very quick qualifying 3 session there. There's quite a few drivers posting some seriously quick lap times.
Yeah, and Kraken's really put in a good lap there to be a couple tenths ahead of the field. And you can go, well, yeah, I had more pace in my pocket, but did you deliver it? No. So Kraken's laid it out when he needed it.
He's gone whack.
It's put him on pole position. And of note, I think Flourish is the only soft runner we'll have at the start of this race. And being 3rd on the grid, if he can get a good start over the 2 in front, he definitely has the potential.
It's 6/1000 is the gap there.
Yeah, ridiculous from Flourish. Even the top 6 is just ridiculous. But he has a great opportunity to get a good start off the line and challenge for the lead down to turn 1. About a 500 metre-ish run down towards turn 1 from pole position for Kraken. So definitely not one of the shorter ones on the calendar here. And it's all to play for. We'll be back in a second for the race here for Tier 2.
Oh dear. Mate, are you going to let me say something?
Sorry, mate. I just took over that whole Q3. You can have the race start.
I'm just teasing.
I'll just get into it.
I could try to get into it.
Just whenever I take a breath, just cut me off. Just cut me off, and then I'll shut up.
I would if you took a breath.
Just interject, mate. Just whenever I take a breath every 2 minutes, just get in.
That's the one thing I hated the most, was when people just talked over the top.
Yeah.
It's all good if you finish a sentence, but when someone sort of goes bang,
yeah, I know what you mean.
Anyway.
But if I finish saying something, if someone's just finishing a lap,
yeah,
definitely you can just interject there and then start going to the next driver or whatever you want to look at.
Alright. Truck's back on and I'll run us through the grid.
Yeah, no worries, mate. About 5 seconds. I'll tell you when.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the formation lap for this Barcelona race. 33 laps are about to come to you from the Tier 2 competition of the Oceania Series Racing League. So we'll run you through the grid very quickly. On the way to the grid here, we have Kraken on the pole position. He's got Johnny M4 alongside him in P2. Flourish Expire on the soft compound tyre takes up P3. Nat Hammer P4. OSRL Donny P5. Very good effort from him there. P6 is Dino 420 fam. P7 for M Stone. He's got his teammate in the Stig alongside him to occupy the 4th row. Milligains in P9. Tabbed F1 didn't set a lap time in that Q3 session. He's in P10. Blue Dog with the free choice of tyre has gone the medium, so he will start P11. Absolute 9-7, the Tier 3 driver, absolutely impressive here tonight for Tier 2. He is in P12. P13 goes to 2-5. P14 for Jay Kelly. Crazy Kiwi in P15 on the hard compound tyre. Nick Magoo, P16. Brad Tay there in P17. And Darkness Abyss, P18. Suicide 5, P19, and Mr. Fury Strat. All three of those drivers are on the hard compound tyre, mate.
That's right.
There's
Kelly,
Johnny and Kiwi.
Crazy Kiwi. Yeah, JK and Kiwi, a little bit of contact there. Kiwi is also on the hard compound tyres, so that's not going to help him at all get any temperature into them for the start. But here we go, coming towards the grid, a very nice and tight outlap from the boys. As we're coming down the back straight, it almost looked like they were side by side with each other. They were so tightly grouped. We'd love to see it, but the start is about to happen. Hopefully we can get away all cleanly, but it's all yours, Moose.
Thanking you, mate. I'll try and get us a decent camera angle. I'll try and get my YouTube viewers a decent camera angle.
If you flick to Johnny M4, you should get a good one. But here we go. It's your call, mate.
So 3 lights on, 5 lights now. And the lights are out, and we are underway here for Tier 2. It's a very good start there from Nat Hammer in the Haas. Very nice getaway from Kraken there also. Dino 420 fam is all over the Red Bull there of Johnny M4. They are 3 abreast into turn 1. Johnny M4, big loser there as he goes very wide through turn 2. Turn 3 also. Little bit of action a bit further down with Brad Tay. Blue Dog has gone backwards in a big way off the start as well. He currently runs down there in P13. So they're all sorting themselves out now. The guy's a bit higher up. Oh, he's around! Johnny M4 is around!
Johnny M4 is around!
Crash! Huge crash!
Oh
M-Stone
no, that's terrible
from
M-Stone!
And Darkness Abyss is involved in that also. VSC has been deployed. Will we see a full safety car?
That was terrible from... M-Stone just absolutely ruined Darkness Abyss's race as he's very dangerously rejoined the track, but we'll flick through the order quickly. It's a Haas 1-2 at the front. Kraken getting away cleanly, so did Nathammer. Dino 420 is up 3 positions. Flourish has dropped down the 1 after they were 3 abreast down into the first corner. Milligains is up 4 positions in the AlphaTauri. Tabbed has followed him through. And the Stig holding position. Donny, he's dropped down a few positions. JK is up 5 positions, so good start for him. I don't think we're going to be seeing the full safety car. The Stig is in for service. Maybe potentially damage on that car. Blue Dog in the Ferrari, he's in 10th. But it's all going to shuffle around with a few cars in the pit lane. Crazy Kiwi and the Stig. But expect to see a couple more at the back. Johnny M4, M Stone. I think Darkness Abyss.
Long VSC.
Definitely a long VSC. Darkness Abyss, no front wing damage, but I suspect he may have a load of side pod damage as he got crunched by M Stone. But we're back on the racing.
I'll tell you what, mate. Flourish Expire has absolutely caught the driver behind him as we've seen this telemetry glitch.
I think Milligan's caught him napping because he's dropped down a position, Flourish. So Milligan's moved up a position there. And I think Kraken got the worst start off that as he's really let the 4 behind close right up. But it is a Haas 1-2 from the Ferrari of Dino. And now Milligan's is 4th. So I'd say the 4 of our fastest drivers are now at the front of this field. And it's only lap 2 here for you guys, everyone out there in the chat, despite what the telemetry's telling us. But it's sorting itself out now, and we'll see what happens now. Unfortunately for those guys at the back, it was only the VSC deployed, but we continue onwards, and let's see, with the DRS will now be activated on this lap, not down the front straight, but down the back straight, and Kraken enjoying about a second lead from his teammate Nahammer, who's got Dino, Milligains and Flourish all tucked up behind, and Flourish is really close to the back of Milligains.
Yeah, absolutely.
But not quite close enough.
Well, mate, we've had someone in the Twitch chat saying, how can we join this league? There will be links posted in the stream to go to our Discord page. That is how you can join our league. We do race off the PlayStation system, and we are always looking for new people to join us. So, Smitty Jr., sorry if I've said that wrong. But Smitty Jr., welcome. This is the Oceania Series Racing League. And welcome if this is your first time. We would love to have you on board.
Absolutely. Here we go. So, a very tight bunch of cars. Kraken just streaking away a little bit from his teammate, Nuthammer. We saw Kraken definitely has the pace advantage of those two, which may allow him to slip away from the cars behind his challenges.
Safety car. Johnny's out. Johnny M4 is out.
Johnny M4 is out down there at turn 1. And the VSC has been deployed once again here, so for the second time in 3 laps. So, Kraken, does he come into the pit lane? Will we see anyone in the pit lane? I don't think so. They're on the mediums a bit early. Flourish may think off the soft tyre it's time, and yeah, he'll take advantage of this VSC. Hopefully it's a bit longer for him this time. Everyone else appears to be staying out.
Flourish in the pits.
Soft runner, just Flourish on the soft tyre coming in. And unfortunate for Johnny M4, an incident down at turn 1, ending his race prematurely.
Yeah, he had such a good qualifying result too.
Yeah, definitely. But I suspect that this VSC is going to let Kraken break away from the rest of the field. And we eagerly await for the green flags. Milligains is really... Milligains is...
Has he just overtaken Dino on... Milligains has lost out. Milligains has lost out there.
Yeah, just lost out. And as I said, it has let Kraken slip away. And now Dino, Hammer and Milligains all separated by about a second here.
Milligains is all over the back of Dino 420 fan though.
Well, we were saying that Dino's been struggling, and he probably doesn't have all the confidence under those 4 tyres connecting him to the row here. And there's another yellow flag there. I think it's an Alpine Suicide 5. Suicide 5. He's in the wall at turn 7. He's in the wall at turn 7, but we'll continue to ride on board with his action at the front. And the DRS will now be enabled for Dino 420 fam and Milligains here. And we'll expect to see at least one of them pass into turn 1 just with the power of that. So here we go, down the front straight. The DRS is open for Dino, open for Milligains.
Oh, Milligains
and we'll see what kind of moves he has got. But Dino's got the DRS in front to defend with. But Dino not exactly closing up too fast on the Nathammer in front. So interestingly enough, Nathammer got some straight line speed and a good run off that final corner, keeping him safe for now. But plenty of opportunities to come in the remaining 28 laps.
Yeah, that there is, mate. And we have seen Darkness Abyss into the pit lane again. So not sure if he had a little bit more damage. So too, the Stig has just got past Suicide 5 into turn 1. That was a nice move as well. So Darkness Abyss pitting for, I'm pretty sure, the second time in this race.
I think he stayed out. I think
he served a time penalty.
Yeah, he had a drive-through penalty from speeding under the VSC there. So these three continue to ride it closely together. Nathammer struggling, 2 seconds off his teammate now. So Dino and Milligains were really trying to get past as soon as possible to try and chase down Kraken. But at every lap that Nathammer can delay them,
2.5 is out.
2.5 is out down there. Where is that? It's at turn 11 or turn 12 there.
It is turn 12.
But here comes Dino 420 fam down the main straight. And he makes the move easily down into turn number 1. No fight from Nahammer on that occasion. But now he's going to tuck into the slipstream. And will he get a chance next lap around to make the overtake back on Dino 420 fam. So it's a there's a 4 at the front and running away, and now there's a bit of a train following behind Donny. As they're all starting to separate out now a bit, especially with all the incidents. We've had a few through the pit lane for various reasons. But Jay Kelly, he's up 8 positions there in 6, so he's going well there for Alfa Romeo. And where's Fury? He's up 9 positions as well from the back of the grid. He's on the hard compound tyre, so pulling one of his strategies, I suspect.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's worth mentioning that Tier 3 racer Absolute is running well and truly in the points right now in P8.
Yes, he is. So Absolute going strong after...
And catching Blue Dog.
Yes, he is. So Blue Dog is stuck on the back of this train of Jay Kelly and Donny, but down the straight they may pull away just with the DRS advantage. But it all evens out throughout the lap potentially. But here we go, another lap around the front, down the main straight. And will we see a car off at the back? That is Crazy Kiwi round at turn 9. Potentially into the barrier, but no terminal damage. And here comes that hammer. Right up the back of Dino 420 fam there into turn 1, but not quite close enough to challenge for the position.
Yeah, Dino got a really nice exit off the final corner.
Yes, he did, and I suspect Milligains will be getting to become frustrated at the back of this train. It is very difficult to pass when you're the third man in the train when the car in front has DRS to defend. We're seeing a battle develop here for fourth. Jay Kelly's really closing into the back of Donny. He's got the fresher medium tyres as Crazy Kiwi's boxed and stopped. He is retired in the pit lane after that incident for himself. And here comes JK down the back straight. Not quite close enough on Donny this time, but if he can stay within touching distance for the main straight, he'll be in good shape to make the move and move himself up into 5th position after starting outside of the top 10. So looking strong here, JK, his race pace.
Yeah, the battle for second here is very, very close indeed. Nat Hammer so much closer. Milligains is very close also. And that is well, they're going to keep fighting, are they? Yes, they are. Side by side, and they're just going to come up to the back of Dino at the wrong time there for Nat Hammer as he gets pinched, and that is move done by Milligains.
Yeah, just a bit boxed in there was Nat Hammer, just stuck between the Ferrari and the AlphaTauri there, and it just meant he had to give up the position to Milligains, who got an excellent release off that final corner.
Didn't he?
And as we're watching that action, Jay Kelly in the Alfa Romeo moved past Donny, so kept it nice and tight, tucked up behind the Alfa Romeo there, behind the McLaren in the Sector 3, and got the run off the final corner and has moved past. But don't expect this battle to be over as the DRS now for Donny. And Absolute is closing in. He's just half a second off the DRS in front, so if he can close in, and he's dragging the likes of Nick Magoo, Brad Tay and Fury with him. And just at the front, mate, Dino is making inroads on Kraken at the front. The gap down to 1.3 seconds, and he'll be trying extremely hard to close up on the Kraken so that they can challenge for the lead. But he might need to let Milligains past in terms of the pack of them chasing down the leader in front, as the DRS train has the pace advantage over the sole driver running at the front.
Oh, Milligains with a huge toe, and that is, let's call an egg an egg. That was very easy.
Absolutely. Well, I think from pre-season testing, we figured out that it was worth about 8 or 9 tenths of a second a lap, the DRS and the slipstream here. So it is vital to hang on to it. Absolute and Nick Magoo going for it in turn 1 and 2. And Absolute hanging it there on Nick Magoo. So putting up a brave defence there of 8th position. But look at this, they're almost 2 by 2 here. And I think Fury put his nose in there on the inside of Brad Tay. Yes, he did. Side by side, Fury has the outside line now. So Brad Tay has the inside line, but Fury might get a better traction, a better exit out of the corner. He does. And now Brad Tay will need to yield the position down into turn 7. So Fury moving forward on that hard compound tyre as well.
Yeah, the medium runners just trying to keep things under control so that they can get themselves to about lap 15 in this race, maybe even a little bit further. So they're just a little bit of tyre preservation perhaps from some of these drivers.
That's it, mate. So here we go. Naham is beginning to fall off the back of the 2 in front. And he's just hung onto the DRS. So here comes Dino. It's his time with the DRS. not attacking with the ERS, so just following Milligains for now on their venture to try and catch the Haas of Kraken in front.
Well, mate, they've pulled 5 tenths out of they've pulled 5 tenths out of Kraken on that lap alone.
Yes, they have. Donny, he's just taken back the position in 5th off JK in the Alfa Romeo. But early on in the race, sometimes it's just you got to work against your, work with your rivals to get the other, get the third rival to work together to get him, and then later on in the race you can go for it.
Yeah, too right. Yellow flag in sector 3.
Darkness Abyss.
Darkness is out.
Final corner, around the finish line almost. So a very odd position.
Oh,
to be out.
that has to be a safety car, surely.
I think they might be thinking there's just enough time to get the marshals out there, but so no safety car or even virtual safety car.
Not even a virtual safety car
at this stage. And yes, the two of Dino and Milligains, they have dropped Nat Hammer now, well and truly. And as we were saying, they have a bit of a pace advantage over him, and now that he's lost the DRS, he probably won't be able to hang on to the back of them. But Dino is also struggling to keep up with the pace of Milligains, but he's also struggling to keep up with the pace of Kraken. So the three up front, they are pushing hard.
Yeah, that they are. And Nat Hammer's, I don't want to say he's fallen off the back of it, but he's generally starting to fall off the back of this battle by the tune of about 8 tenths a lap.
Yes, he is. So just maybe struggling on a couple of mistakes on those couple of laps, and there we go. He's out of the.
Jay Kelly down there in 7th. In 6th. Got very, very twitchy as he came up onto the hill there. Blue Dog could get very interested here as he's only about half a second off.
Yes, he could. So both McLarens leading a 3-car train here. Yes, it is a 3-car train for both. As Bradtay, well, you could say Bradtay's on the back of the Nick Magoo train. So 4 tucked up behind Nick Magoo, and Donny's got a 3-car train as they both coming down the back straight now. JK just giving a little show of the nose to remind Donny that he is there and that he may be there into turn number 1. And at the front, Kraken continuing to pull away from Milligains.
Yeah, that he is. He's put in a couple of stonking laps the last 2 laps, and Kraken is absolutely on a charge at the moment out in front.
That's it. All right, so JK 7.5 tenths at the beginning of the straight. Let's see if he can get anywhere near Donny at the front. He is using the battery. The DRS is open, but I think Donny will have just enough room at the head of this train to hold on to it for now. So we'll go back to Fury and Nick McHugh. Fury not quite close enough on this occasion. So the two McLarens holding on to their positions this time around. We're lap 12 of 33. And we expect to see pit stops coming up quite shortly in the next 5 to 8 laps probably. Depends what strategy they're on. The medium tyres, if they're looking to extend to the softs, or if they're going to be coming in for the hard tyres.
Mate, for the battle for last, Suicide 5 and M-Stone. Suicide 5 got very, very trigger happy out of the final corner, and that is a very easy move there from M-Stone to elevate himself to P15. Of course, the top 15 positions are awarded points in the OSRL.
That's it, mate. Blue Dog making the move on Jay Kelly, and I think it may have been a mistake there for Jay Kelly, which allowed Blue Dog pass. So Jay Kelly has allowed Blue Dog pass, and now no DRS for him. And now Dino is trying to keep up with Milligains. He had the DRS through the detection point, but struggled through the final corner, which is going to hurt him down the straight. But it's back to 7 tenths now. And Milligains is, I think, pushing now to try and close in on Kraken in the lead of this one. And this is where strategy comes into it. You need to, if you're in Milligains' positions, you have to make the undercut to try and close into the DRS of Kraken for the final stint.
Yeah, absolutely. But you are just sacrificing a little bit more tyre life, and that's even assuming that Kraken does react and doesn't come in to cover you off. If Kraken,
he doesn't come in, you can come in. You have the opportunity to make the undercut. Being in the lead, it's quite tricky in that you don't know when the rivals behind are going to pit, so it's all on you to either cover it off early or to make it big enough gap so that you can react one lap later.
Yeah, that's right. And if Kraken was to pit at the moment, this is a very bunched together field. I think he would come out in about P12.
I think he'll come out behind Flourish, but he's got a nice big pocket of air there to push into.
Yeah, that he does. And Milligains is in, and so is
yes, they are. Milligains and Dino into the pit lane. So we've timed that perfectly, that talk, and Dino getting very close to Milligains at the stop or the pit speed limiter line, and the two the Alpha Carry and the Ferrari garages, they are right next to each other in the pit lane.
Absolutely.
And good pit stops for the two, so they come out head to stern. They're on the hard compound tyre. So I think Kraken will need to react to this one. As I said, they're coming out in a nice big pocket of air, and with a lot of medium runners ahead who will be pitting shortly, they should be able to push and make some good lap times early, but expect to see Kraken in this lap.
Yeah, I think he's got enough of a gap to cover it off nice and early, but he does have to really get a move on and come into the pits in at least the next 2 laps.
Well,
Having said that,
he's not exactly using the ERS, mate. He's not exactly pushing flat and toe. So we'll see if it is enough. The two of Dino and Milligains, I suspect they'll be pushing very hard to try and make this work. So just coming through the final chicane now, will Kraken make the call to cover it off?
Yes, he will.
Yes, he does. So into the pit lane for the Haas, and we'll watch this gap with vested interest, as Dino and Milligains really need to make this undercut count if they want to win this race, or they need to at least get into the DRS. Dino will be hoping that they can both make it past Kraken so that he is not the third car in this train again, as we've seen how difficult that is. We've got cars into the pit lane, but we'll go to Dino 420 fam and Milligains. Where is the Haas of Kraken? He's just exiting the pit lane now, and will it be enough? It's not just enough. He's come out clearly ahead.
Yeah, the overcut.
That is very surprising that he's made the overcut work there. He's extended it by about a second there. So I wonder what has happened there.
Well, mate, it could be that the medium tyre just has that much more life in it that these guys don't know about. It's, you know, your tyres might be saying 39, 40, maybe even 50%, but clearly the medium tyres are that much better than the hard.
Apparently so, mate. So Kraken is in a commanding position as it stands. He is just a second and a half off the back of this train, which is now headed by Absolute, as Mr. Fury Strider is running away from them on the hard compound tyre. I expect to see some of these guys coming in now. I suspect Nathammer in this lap, and yes he is, and Blue Dog may follow him. Yes he does. So Fury from the back row of the grid is going to lead us here onto lap 17 of this venture.
Oh, there's
lap 16.
There is
it's
a
Jay
car
Kelly.
around. Jay Kelly.
Jay Kelly.
Missing
Jay Kelly is
front wing.
around. Ah, that's heartbreaking. He was having such a good race as well. But, so Absolute and Brad Tay, they're now second and third, yet to make their stops. Flourish Expire, he's up in 4th position. He made that stop on lap 3 or 4 to the medium compound, so I don't think he'll be able to stretch those for almost 30 laps. So we'll have to see him in again at some stage, probably for the soft compound tyre. He might try and hang it out though for a safety car period, so we can get another cheap pit stop, and Kraken will be closing in on him like a raid of knots. But battle on track closest is between the Absolute in the Aston Martin and Brad Tay in the Mercedes.
Yeah, someone that we'll call it the undercut. Someone that has absolutely worked a treat for was Donny, who's got himself up above Blue Dog there for P9 and P10. So undercut working there, mate.
So that will be a net P5, I suspect, for Donny at the moment. He was running in that position before, I think, or he may have been just behind Blue Dog at the stop. So into the pit lane comes Absolute. Brad Tay continues. Flourish continues. So he is elevated to 3rd position. Has Kraken got the DRS? Not this time around. But in the background, a big weave from Milligains to try and break this slipstream on Dino 420 fam. Coming down the main straight. The overspeed for Dino just continuing to build, but not quite enough down into turn number 1 to make the overtake on this time around. And there's a 3-car train at the back of the field between the Stig and Tabbed and M-Stone. They are contesting the final end of the points. Only one driver at the moment not running the points, that is Jay Kelly, who just had, unfortunately, that incident last lap.
Yeah, absolutely. Pardon me, absolutely spot
No,
on.
you're right, mate. You're right, mate.
Oh, mate, it's the Roniness is getting me.
Well, you're giving Venti a bit of stick for not being able to chug his beer. I think I might have to give you a bit now.
Oh, mate, no one has ever accused me of being bad at chugging a beer, so...
Well, time will tell about that. Daniel86, thank you for the follow, my friend. Here we go. So, Flourish will be past Brad Tay, I suspect, this lap. If you can just hang on to him in this final sector as the dirty air really kicks in. And Dino's made it past Milligames, who's off!
Yes, he is.
Milligames making a venture into the grass there at turn 12. And now that's allowed Dino to slip past. So, and he's out of the DRS now. I don't think damage on that on that Alpha Tauri. And as we're saying, Flourish makes the pass on Brad Tay into turn number 1 down the straight with the assistance of the DRS.
And confirm no damage.
So I think all of these three are going to hang it out for the soft compound tyre now. Expect to see them in around lap 20 to 21, I suspect. Fury obviously will have a bit more of an advantage now as the mediums will be wearing out definitely for Brad Tay. Flourish will still be going strong, however, as he made a pit stop to fresh mediums earlier on. And Kraken not exactly making the strongest of inroads to the back of Brad Tay now. Maybe just taking it easy, knowing that he is in the net lead of this race.
Yeah, he. Having said that, he is running very low on ERS, so he is pushing, but the medium compound tyre just appears to still have enough life in it to just be giving Brad Tay there
Here we go. I think Kraken's going to get the DRS now. No, so
no, I was
run through the final chicane.
I was on board with Brad Tay watching Flourish expire, so don't worry about me, folks. I'm just doing my own thing.
That's all right, mate. So Kraken did get it, so he got through the detection point for the DRS, and that's going to help him close up on Brad Tay in front. But so Fury, Brad Tay, and Flourish yet to pit in this one, and as well as M-Stone and Suicide 5 at the back, they'll probably need to come in again. The Hards may make it to the end for them, but we will wait and see. They'll be praying for a safety car to wheel them back into the fight. But there's a bit of a battle developing here for 12th, as we touched on before, between three of the blue cars, Tab, the Stig, and M-Stone. And here comes the Stig on Tab, down towards turn number 1. The ERS and the DRS are both flowing open, and the move done for Stig into turn 1. But fighting back is the Tabbed. He makes a very nice cutback there. Stig went in deep. And Tab gets back through on the Stig. A very classy move from the man himself there.
M-Stone getting a little bit interested as well at the back of that.
Absolutely, but Kraken's now right on the back of Brad Tay up through the final sector. And just going to be patient through here. It's one line down through 13 to the exit of 16, my friend. And
those medium tyres would be screaming right now.
Absolutely, that front left will be absolutely dead on the Mercedes of Brad Tay. He'll be calling Bono saying my tyres are dead, and he's going to go and set a fastest lap now because that's just how that works. But Kraken up into third position, and Dino 420 fam, he's 5.5 seconds off the back of Kraken now. So Kraken just really showing the pace he has tonight.
But he's and go with me here, mate. Kraken has threatened this kind of pace all season long, even in the pre-season. He and Nat Hammer have had amazing pace in that Haas car, and they've just the wheels have fallen off in a few races for the Haas boys, but they have been very threatening with pace in every race so far.
You've hit the nail right on the head there. They might have
strategy aside, they have delivered here tonight so far. Yellow flag
that's
for
Jay
Kelly, who is around.
It's just struggles at that final corner for the Alfa Romeo team this evening, as Fury Strut is now coming through that section of the track, and he's going to start up lap 20 for us here, and expect to see him flourish and Brad Tay in shortly. And DRS once again now for Kraken on the back of Flourish Expire, who qualified third on the grid on the soft compound tyre in Q2. And running on a different strategy to those, and you can see how it's not really working out for him here. Unless he can make those mediums last another, 12 laps now. That's going to be a mighty effort.
Well, having said that, Brad Tay is currently on 20-lap-old medium compound tyres, so...
He is, but 20 versus what will it be? It'll be 28 for Forrest. It's a pretty big difference. Forrest will be definitely pushing the edge of the envelope if he decides to stay out.
That is a very good point.
And the lap times will just continue to fall off. And as he picks up a 3-second penalty as well, does Flourish. So I think that was down at turn 7. So starting to struggle for grip potentially in that Aston Martin.
Yeah, well, Alfa Romeo pulling a masterclass with their strategy here at the moment. They've pulled a bit of a Ricky Bobby. They are first and last. So, and Fury Strat is into the pits. So he'll come in now looking for a brand new set of the soft compound tyre if he's got one.
Yes, Forrest leads us over the line, but he won't lead for long. Just for the main straight, and here we go. Here comes Kraken. And down the front straight makes it easy overtake on Forest Expire. Interestingly enough, Brad Tay stayed out, mate, on the medium tyre for yet another lap, and he ran a similar strategy last race in Bahrain. It worked out for him. He moved from the back of the grid up into the top 10. So maybe looking for a safety car as Brad Tay, but with not many cars running closely together, the likelihood of that is not exactly a high possibility. But now one to watch is definitely Fury on that soft compound tyre. He's come out in 8th position after starting out in 20th position. And he'll be on an absolute charge here. He will be. He'll be right onto the back of Donny very quickly. And I suspect he'll close in the gap of Matt Hammer quickly after that. And he may even be able to get to the backs of Milligains and Dino 420 fans.
Yeah, that he will. And we've just had the link come up in the Twitch chat. So don't forget to vote for your driver of the day at home. These guys doing everything in their power to impress you guys, the viewers at home, for the driver of the day. So the link is in the Twitch, as previously mentioned. Do not miss out on your vote.
So Brad Tay into the pit lane.
Yes.
As the Kraken set the fastest lap of this race, Dino is holding off Milligains at just over a second now. So Milligains appears to have a little pace advantage. He's closing that gap of 10th or so a lap on the back of Dino, so he'll be pushing to try and get into that DRS to drag him up even closer and potentially make that overtake for what is 3rd at the moment, and potentially will be 2nd as Flourish may come into the pit lane shortly. And Fury has made that move on Donny already, and now only 2.5 seconds off the back of Nat Hammer as well, so he is flying purple sectors, and I expect to see a very quick lap time at the end of this one from Fury.
Yeah, absolutely. A bit further down the grid, we're seeing a nice battle here between the two Williams drivers of M-Stone and the Stig, and I think M-Stone's just overtaken the Stig for P13 and 14 there. So they're running very, very close together.
Yes, they are working together to maybe try and close down on Tabbed in front. Will Milligains get the DRS on this journey around the circuit, coming down the main straight? Not this time around, so Milligains just fighting ever so hard to get that last little bit of pace to get inside the DRS, and here comes Fury, and there you go, a 17.1, so I think that's about half a second quicker than we saw from Kraken just a lap or so ago. So Fury, he's going to make these tyres last, another 9 laps now at the conclusion of this one. As Brad Tay and Absolute dueling down the main straight. Brad Tay on those new softs, making the move past Absolute. And the undercut went to Absolute, but now the pace of the soft compound tyre for Brad Tay, and it's not really even a contest. As Brad Tay will now be looking at the back of Nick Magoo very shortly.
Yeah, those soft compound runners, they're really having a good time of it at the moment. Especially Brad Tay here, who is all on the back of Nick Magoo for what would be P9. So a lot of pace there, but he just has to stay patient because those tyres can go off very, very quickly indeed.
A little bit further up, we're seeing Milligains just starting to catch the back of Dino 420 fam after he made that mistake a little bit earlier. There's about 6 tenths between these two now. DRS.
He's got the DRS, and he's going to be close maybe at the end of this straight. He's not deploying the battery, so not looking for the move on this occasion. But this is the fight for what is second position now with the penalty for Flourish. And who's that off of the track? That is Tapped.
Tab.
He is off the track at turn 12. We've seen a few cars off there throughout this evening's events, so people struggling down there, but he's kept it going.
Brad Tay moved on Nick Magoo.
Yes, he has. So
Brad Tay flying on those soft compound tyres.
He sure is. Kraken picks up a 3-second penalty as well at the front.
That's big. That is huge.
It definitely gives a sniff to Dino and Milligains behind. But they had probably turned it down or turned their noses down at any chance of winning this one. But now there is a sniff for them. Jay Kelly is off the track up at there at turn 12. Here comes Fury. He's looking at Nanhammer. A full safety car, mate. A full safety car for Jay Kelly, who is off there up the top of the track.
Flourish Expire has pulled a master stroke here.
Here we go. Flourish will definitely be in. I think Kraken will be in as well. Yep. Soft tyres for the remaining laps. And Flourish has a penalty, a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC, mate. So you're saying he's pulled a masterclass? No, he hasn't. Dino Milligains in the pit lane. Nat Hammer electing to come in.
Every driver has to come in now. Fury.
I thought Fury might stay out. I thought Fury might stay out. He would have taken the net rate lead here. But into the pit lane for Fury. Very interestingly enough, I thought he would have stayed it out for sure.
Brad Tay has stayed out. Brad Tay will inherit the lead of this race.
He did. Brad Tay picked it a lap or two later than Fury, and he won't inherit the lead, but he'll move up to 5th position, such that the gaps were ahead. But he's moved himself past the likes of Fury, Nedhammer, Donny, Blue Dog. And there you go. And I still find that very interesting from Fury. He would have taken the lead. Yes, he is out in 6th position. And Flourish is out on medium tyres.
Yeah, maybe just not having enough, any soft compound tyres available to him.
Well, regardless if he does or not, he has that drive-through penalty now, which means he will be right down at the back of the field, as the field will close up entirely with the amount of laps remaining.
I will just run our viewers through the penalties. So we have Kraken with 3 seconds. Flourish Expire, unlucky with that drive-through penalty just now. Absolute 9-7, he has 3 seconds as well. Nick Magoo with 11 seconds worth of penalties. So the wheels have fallen off a little bit for Nick Magoo. But he will definitely be trying to do something about that as the race comes back to him.
I'm still a bit baffled by Fury. Yes, he's done a few laps on that soft, but with the safety car laps, we probably won't get going until lap 28, mate.
Yeah.
So we'll have at least one more lap under the safety car, potentially another one as well. Suicide 5 is quite back. He's only in turn 6 now. So we'll see if he can close up or not on this coming lap.
I think we'll only have the one more. I would have thought
he would have chosen. I thought he would have gone for track position with Fury, but he's gone for the new tyres. So we'll see how it plays out. He fell a bit of a victim of the safety car last week. We'll see how this goes for him. Nick Magoo is coming into the pit. He may have a 5-second penalty, I think, over the top of the 6 seconds of track limits penalties. So electing to serve that one. Yeah. But this has worked out well for the likes of M-Stone, Ski, Tab, and Suicide 5, who were running quite far off the back of everyone else. And now everyone is running in the points, but it's now a matter of how many points you score, as we'll get going shortly.
Yeah, big winners and big losers. Just looking at the position changes, and Brad Tay up 12 positions. Mr. Fury Strat up 14 positions, mate. So those boys have pulled a bit of a strategic masterclass themselves.
Very well, thank you, Ty-Star. How are you, my friend?
G'day, Ty-Star.
Late race safety car. We do love a bit of a late race safety car here in Tier 2, don't we, Moosey? Not quite the 2-lap sprint that we had last week. It's gonna be a 6-lap dash to the end for as we commence on lap 28 at the end of this one. So the safety car will be peeling off. We suspect it will be coming off, and it should be coming off at the end of this lap to allow them back under green flags.
Safety
Kraken,
car
who
is
had a
in
very...
this lap.
And I tell you what, we haven't touched on this yet, but Kraken is carrying that 3-second time penalty.
Yeah.
Dino and Milligains aren't, and Fire65 will potentially be in at the end of this lap to serve his drive-through penalty. So this is huge. Kraken needs to get away very quickly if he has any
will
hope.
have to do at least one lap.
I think he can come in at the end of a safety car sometimes, but he may have to do one more lap. It just depends on the pace that Kraken sets, as it will.
When will Kraken go here?
Alrighty, so
He's
he's
banking them
leaving.
right back.
Does he go at the final corner? He does.
Yes, he does.
Kraken,
he is gone, and
it.
he has dropped Milligains and Dino
And
420. So Flourish has come into the pit lane.
So
Yellow
here we
flag
go.
in sector 3. Someone is around. Someone's very... Oh, wow!
Donny! It's Donny at the final corner. And Flourish picks up a penalty in the pit lane. Not that it's
Fury
really going to matter.
Fury Strat and Brad Tay really switching positions there. Nat Hammer all over the back of Brad Tay. Can he get a run on him into turn 4 there? Oh, they're side by side there. And the Haas does come through. So Brad Tay losing out on those older soft compound tyres.
Yes, that's it, mate. So, probably not what Kraken would have wanted, but he has broken the DRS.
Dino with a penalty now.
Dino with a fam, so Milligains is in with a great shot of winning this one, but he's got to get past ASAP so that he can try and stay within 3 seconds of Kraken, who definitely has that pace advantage over the likes of Dino and himself. So he's got to get past now to win this race. Kraken is going to be doing his hardest, and Fury will be chasing these guys down as well. He's penalty free, and Nuthammer might be interested as well.
Yeah, that he will, mate. And there is such a long train here that are all within about 7 seconds of each other, as Kraken has set the fastest lap of the race, a 17.1. There's lots of battles on track, none closer than the battle for second and third position in this race between Dino 420 fam and Milligains.
This is almost for the lead of the race if the gaps stabilise here in the remaining laps, but Milligains is pushing Dino as he has been all race. Fury chasing them down. He needs to be within a second to get the DRS to try and stay with them for the remaining 4 laps at the end of this one. He'll have 4 laps of DRS to see if he can challenge for the win or challenge for a decent slot on the podium. Get your votes in for driver of the day, guys, in the remaining 4 laps so we can interview them after the race. But Dino is really pushing hard to try and break away from Milligains and stay with Kraken. And at this stage, he is within the DRS, but he's right on the bubble.
Yeah, that he is, mate. And just looking at the interval between the leader and the rest of the field, Kraken, if he was to get the checkered flag now, would drop to P4 in this race. So the penalties really could come into play here.
Here we go. Dino got a very good run through that final chicane. No DRS down the front straight, but it is now enabled, and they'll get it down the back half of the lap. And Fury is got Nathammer in the Haas for company, and he has been dropped by the 3 in front. So he's going to have to really put up a fight to keep the likes of them behind. The Stig is really challenging the back of Absolute, who is also carrying a penalty tab as well. He's tucked up behind them. And the big losers out of all this is Flourish Expire and Don Under Fire, Donny. Donny having that incident at the start of the restart, and Flourish with that drive-through penalty, unfortunately. And Milligains is so close to Dino.
Yeah, that he is, mate. He's all over the rear wing of that Ferrari. And Dino just... I'm not sure if it's a tyre warm-up issue, but he doesn't look like he's got a heap of pace at the moment. Milligains really is on the back of him into every braking zone at the moment. So I think he might be in a bit of trouble come turn 1 down the main straight with a bit of DRS.
Couldn't agree more. Milligains know what he's fighting for. He lost out to a penalty last week. Can he repay the favour on Kraken this week and take the race win off of a penalty for Kraken? We will see shortly. And Milligains gets another very good run out of that final corner, and he's going to sail past down this main straight with DRS. He probably won't even have to use any of the DRS. Such is the pace that Milligains had off that final corner. Sorry, mate, but he sets off. Take over for me.
Kraken went very wide there into turn 1 and 2. So Kraken could have Milliganes all over the back of him in a minute. As a bit further down, bless you there, mate. Suicide 5 has been overtaken by Nick Magoo. Milliganes, could Milliganes win this race on pace and never mind the penalty? He is reeled in Kraken here by half a second on this lap alone. So 2.5 laps to go here. Milliganes is looking amazing.
Yeah, as you touched on, there was a mistake there for Kraken in turn 2-3, which allowed Milliganes to close in, and now he has the DRS, so if he can stick with him in this final sector, he's going to have an excellent opportunity to just stay with him at least. He doesn't have to make the overtake, he just has to stay with him and keep Dino behind, but Dino also has the penalty, so all three of these guys are pushing really hard to try and break away from the likes of Fury and Nunhammer behind so that they can finish on the podium. But here we go, Milliganes has stayed close enough for the DRS. It is 8.5 tenths at the beginning, but look at the gap just falling, 6.5, 5.5, 5, 4.5 tenths. It is worth, there you go, it is worth 6 tenths of a second down that main straight. It is massive as he's been reeled right in, but now he's got the dirty air. The dirty air is just going to push him wide. Nuthammer's really getting interested on Fury, but just not able to make the pass at this stage. And I think that is Flourish, who's just come out for a fastest lap attempt in 15th position. And M-Stone's made it past Brad Tay there. He's up into 6th position after being in the wars with Darkness Abyss earlier in this race on lap 1. Down there at turn number 5. But Milligage is pushing hard to stay with Kraken. And I know B-Fly will be cheering her man on Kraken so he can try and win this race. But he's in a tough predicament with only 1 and a third laps remaining now as they're coming down towards sector 3 for this final time. The white flag was waved at the end of this. The white flag will be waving as they cross the start-finish line for this one. It is not... Sorry, I've been confused by that one, B-Fly. It's another one. Someone is your man.
So it's worth mentioning that Dino... Dino hasn't really got away from Fury Strat either. So Dino, if things were to finish now, Dino would almost be down in 6th position, mate.
Yes, well, he's definitely going to be down there. I can't get over what I've just said and what I've seen in the chat. But here we go, lap 33 of 33, Kraken leading him. Kraken, it turns out to be the son, not the partner of B-Fly. So won't be making that mistake again. But here we go, Kraken. He's put in a storming drive, but that penalty hurt Milliganes last week. It's going to hurt him this time, unless there is some sort of mistake for Milliganes on this last tour. And we have seen him make a couple of mistakes tonight. He'll be praying, Kraken, for a mistake from Milliganes. He's just got to hold it now as Milliganes. He's got a 2-second surplus. That's what he needs to Kraken. So he's just got to stay on the black stuff now. And they're coming down into turn number 10, the final time. And here we go. It's going to be Milliganes. And he's going to feel some sort of redemption for last week after it was stolen off him. Oh, not stolen, but taken away from him. So they're coming out of the final few corners. Kraken will take it on the road, but it's going to be Milliganes for Alpha Tauri. He wins round 2. Kraken is provisionally second, but he is second. Fury. Fury makes it onto the podium in 3rd from 20th position, and Nuthammer 4th. Dino drops to 5th with that penalty. M Stone and Brad Tay, Blue Dog, the Stick, Tabbed F1, they are the top 10. Absolute on his reserve appearance from Tier 3. Comes home 11th, a good performance from him. Suicide 5 makes it up to 12th, ahead of Nick Magoo. Overseer Donny is just coming around to finish the race off for himself. And Flourish Expire, I don't think he managed to steal that fastest lap on the final lap. So it is Milliganes who wins. And one more reminder to get Driver of the Day votes in, guys. Here is the link.
Big points day for the Haas boys. We said it earlier, they've been threatening big points in races, but they have delivered it here tonight.
They certainly have, mate. They certainly have. And a cracking performance there for Milliganes. Kraken Fury from the back of the grid. Kraken held on to the fastest lap. So him and Milliganes will be shared on points going into round 3 at Monaco. But Fury, probably one of the best performances today. It worked out pretty well for him. He made that safety car work for himself.
Mate, who is your personal driver of the day?
I'm going to give it to Fury.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
It's an excellent performance from himself, and you just can't argue it. He's up 17 positions. He's on the podium. He didn't make any mistakes today. During the race he didn't make any mistakes, and he's been rewarded with a podium after a bit of heartbreak last week. So well done to Fury. Well done to everyone who finished. Everyone scores points. A bit of an Oprah Winfrey round. You get points. Everyone gets points. So I think that's the first race we've had with all 15 in the points for Tier 2 this round. So there you go. And Milligains comes out on top.
It's my Talim's actually saying that Jay Kelly was still classified.
Let me check mine.
Oh no, sorry.
It's DNF. DNF
yeah.
For I think it's Flourish that's just saying it's one
yeah.
As he pitted for softs to go for fastest lap, as he was quite off the back of everyone else in front. But there you go. It sort of seemed to be getting a bit of a snooze fest towards the end, and then that safety car came out at the perfect time, Moosey.
Didn't it?
To spice it right up again. And we got a great little battle for the lead there at the end of the race. Kraken will be spewing. It took the race win away from him, but these things happen. It worked out for him last week, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. Yeah,
that's exactly right. And like we've said, he's still P2. His teammate there is P4. So it's a big points day for the Haas boys. And in a competition like this, it's team points that are the big thing. So the Haas boys have done very well there tonight.
Yes, absolutely, they sure have, mate. And so we'll announce the driver of the day, and here we go. Let me just load it up. Everyone is just getting their final votes in, and it goes to Milligains.
Oh,
Milligains is the driver of the day. So. Quite interesting, I'd say. I thought it may have been Fury, but the people speak. It is Milligains. But I think we've been joined by everyone in the box here.
Possibly.
I'm just going to confirm that. I think
we might be missing
one more. We're missing Milligains, but here he is. So we'll go with Fury first. From the back of the grid, mate, P20 to P3. You can't be disappointed with that.
Nah, I'm stoked, to be honest. I was talking with Absolute, who was subbing in the Aston Martin, and I was thinking, if this can be my worst result of the season and maybe snag a P5 from after the dismal qualifying I had, just couldn't get the car hooked up in the conditions, but it is what it is. So, to get up to where I was, I think it was it was coming up to Nuthammer under that safety car. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll get up onto him, and then the Alfa Romeo boys did a really good job in the pit to get me to jump over him, and unlucky to Dino, who had that 3-second pan. I don't think I had the pace at the end of the stint as those guys had, but well done to Kraken and Milligains, being up here 2 weeks in a row. Kraken had absolute electric pace. He definitely did not deserve to have the win taken off him with that 3-second pen, but neither did Milligains the week before, so is what it is. But here, good points for the team with only one car finishing, so can't complain.
That's it, mate. I did dare to question your strategy pitting for the softs under the safety car. I thought you may have stayed out and tried to make it work at the front, but you came through for third, so regardless of the strategy, you made it work, so well done to yourself.
Yeah, cheers. It was one of those calls. Like, I'd done probably 3 laps on those tyres, and with that safety car I probably could have extended it out, but given the pace of what I had in qualifying, I didn't feel that confident to hold back Kraken, Milligains and Dino to defend from the front. So figured best bet was to get on the same tyre as everyone else and kind of see if I can make any further inroads. So just happy I could score some good points for the team again.
That's it, mate. Well done. And now on to Kraken. You were on the flip side of this situation last week with the late race safety car and penalty. And that's how the cookie crumbles, my friend. Unfortunately, you've lost it this week. You had it last week. But P2 is still not a bad result in terms of the whole season as a whole. Yeah, that's right. He was showing some good pace, but someone who had electric pace, I think as Fury described it, was yourself. You were in a commanding position to win this race, and unfortunately it just didn't work out for yourself, but still, P2 after a great pole position, you must be happy. Absolutely, it's going to be fireworks and flames, I suspect, at Monaco, but we'll see you next week for another cracking drive, hopefully, from yourself. Thank you, mate. And Milligains, driver of the day and the winner, almost perfect for yourself after what was a difficult qualifying.
Winner, chicken dinner. Had to give it a crack in there. He got so unlucky with the safety car there. He had such an unreal amount of pace on those hards that me and Dino couldn't even believe it was happening. He pulled us 4 seconds on us in that hard stint. We're going, what have we done wrong? We weren't even fighting.
We were shocked when he made the overcut on you guys. We were like, what?
Oh, yeah.
He just extended the gap. Like, what?
Oh, yeah, we were in the party going, what the bloody hell? Even shocked on our own end. But I got really lucky. I told you guys last week I wouldn't lose on penalties, and here I am.
Well, you've won on penalties this week, so you've a bit of redemption for last week, perhaps. So you and Kraken will be tied on points, if my maths is right. He had fast luck last time. He has it this time. So there you go. And it's only round 2, and we've got a lot to look forward to ahead. Are you looking forward to Monaco? I'm not sure if you're a wheel... Are you a wheel user or are you a controller user?
Nah, I'm on the pad, so...
You're on the pad, so you're probably not quite so keen for Monaco.
No, surprisingly, Monaco's my bread and butter. I'm bloody quick on that track, so expect a lot.
I've got that now. It's on evidence, and I'll be bringing that one out next week. If there's some poor performance, your bread and butter.
Hold me to it.
I'm going to hold you to high standards here, mate. But well done tonight. A cracking performance.
Cheers, boys.
Thank you, mate. And apart APT 118 and Teshi Bear. Thank you for the follow, guys. Appreciate it. And Moosey, try and sum that up for us.
Solid. Good steady race. As you said a little bit earlier, there was a little bit of a snooze fest through the middle. But all in all, there was always something happening. So if I had to sum it up, it is just a solid race.
I think if we're looking at it on a scale, it's definitely above average. It may have been towards the average position, if not for that late race safety car, but it did happen, and it brought a bit of spice to the end, and it did definitely change the podium positions as it would have been Kraken on top, followed by Milligains and Dino. So there you go. That's how it happened, and definitely a solid race, and it's still got me very excited for what we're going to get for the remaining 21 races of the season. We're only two races in. I'm already thinking about the end, so I just need to keep myself under control. But I haven't really got much more to say. It was a great race, a bit of action at all times, a bit of chaos early on, but a solid race, and I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, Monaco next week, of course. But we do have one more race in Spain tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Time for the Tier 1 competition. It is the pinnacle of the OSRL, those boys. So we do look forward to your company tomorrow night. But next week, Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. for Tier 3. Wednesday night, Tier 2 at the same time, and it will be Tier 1 on the Thursday night, as it always is. So Monaco, we're hearing a lot of different things about the Monaco track in this game. I am putting $1 that there will be a safety car in all 3 races next week, mate. So
absolutely, looking forward to it.
Yeah, until then, I'll say sayonara. So everyone stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
Absolutely. Everyone tune in tomorrow night, 7:30. Nick and Fury will be in the box calling the Tier 1 race. I'll be on track. And until then, stay safe and safe racing. I'll be back in a second, man. I'm just going to take a piss.
Yeah, that's it. Ugh. To be fair, it was a bit of a snooze fest. Like, nah, don't get me wrong. There was always something happening, but
yeah, it's what you get from the track. It's not exactly the easiest place to overtake, and when you get an overtake done, it's turn 1.
Yeah.
Alright.
At least
I literally
next
pulled
week.
the move on Brad Tay around the outside at turn 4, but that was the most exciting I got.
Oh yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of overtakes caught on camera. At least next week there'll be no overtaking, but if someone crashes, it's going to cause a pile up. So I am not looking forward to it at all. I am 100% going to have a race banned next week. I like Baku.
Same.
Baku's
Baku,
good.
I think it'd be good. I'm keen for that one. Yeah, Kraken, you deserved a lot more tonight. Hey, like you had so much pace. So I was thinking like on my strat without that safety car, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I was pulling up on Nat Hammer. I would have got him pretty comfortably the lap, literally the next lap, if it wasn't for the safety car coming out. I'm like, okay, can I pull the gap to Milligains and Dino? And I was pulling them in like 5/10 a lap minimum. Yeah, well, just about. I was gonna close up and pillage.
Oh, you just had to have a safety car when I was just needing to go to the toilet, eh?
Look,
fasting that whole time.
Consistency.
Has anyone else's screen glitched out?
Yeah, I was just stuck on the results that whole time.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on the results.
Yeah, I just closed up. So that's why we're stuck on the thing. I just closed up.
Yeah, it's migrating the host now.
Fucking hell.
Jesus. See, the fun thing is I was running an 11.9. Let's say I had the high front wing. As my mic cuts out. Am I back again? No.
Yeah, you never
Yep, there we go. No, it's because my mic, I can't hear anything on my end when I shot a game. But yeah, like, I run the high aero, but through the corners, unlike, because Dino and them weren't really quick, like, even on my hards, like, you were catching me at 2 or 3 tenths a lap, I think at there for a while, especially towards the end. But Dino and them I was holding them comfortably, and I'm like, I'm just going to keep extending this out. Like, I don't know what they were doing, but I was really good through Sector 3, especially in the race. I was struggling a little bit. I think my brake pedal has gotten a little bit more sensitive, and I think I might have had the brake pedal on coming through those corners, and then heated up the tyre, and then that's what caused me to lose so much time, like through quali. But yeah, throughout the race, like I was fully ready to have to fight off Nat Hammer because he was on me the whole time. But every time, once DRS came in, every time coming out of the final corner, he'd be 5 tenths behind me coming into the final corner, and then he'd be 8 tenths behind me before the DRS.
We saw that for Dino. He was struggling in the final corner to follow.
Yeah, it was hard to follow at the end.
Yeah, I didn't really comment on it too much, but I was noticing it.
Yeah, like towards the start of the stints, it wasn't too bad when the tyres were fresh. Yeah. But as the tyre started to deteriorate more, the following just became so much harder because the aero wash in this game is significantly more accurate.
Yeah.
To real life. Like I was sitting on Brad Tay just following him through the first stint, and I couldn't get close enough to actually get by him. but I had more, like, because every time you'd get to a place you can actually legitimately make an overtake, the aero washers just force your car way wide, and then you're losing time getting onto it, and then by the time you get to where you want to make that overtake, you're not there. So...
Yeah. Fuck it. I gotta do some practice, Christ. Done no practice.
I was pissed. My practice in the last 2 days, I picked up 4.5 tenths around Spain. I was fuming I was fuming in our chat that we had set up because I was with Absolute and Beansy. I was fucking fuming. I got knocked out and was P20 after Q1. I was literally like screaming like, nah, I need to fucking go for a smoke. I'm literally gonna fuck up this race if I don't. But I was borderline. Like that last lap at turn 9, I took it, I was a bit too far inside. Lucky enough I just jinked the wheel out before the corner cuts in. To just stay on the other side of the white line. I didn't lose too much pace that Nat Hammer could actually have a go at me. But like I was fully prepared to lose that spot. I know, your restart was mint. Oh, yeah. I was gonna say because I remember that from Azerbaijan the other night that you were having issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you had an issue around Baku on Monday with just just straight up yeeting into a wall. And then when you didn't want it to turn right, it did. The title fight's going to be interesting because I think I jumped to 3rd now, and I'm probably only like set from maybe 10 points.
I think Dino might be ahead of you.
No, Dino was P5 tonight because he dropped behind that hammer.
Did he finish 4th last week?
Yeah. Yeah, so Dino finished for 3rd, I was 4th.
Yeah, right. No,
so
yeah,
I'll probably jump him. So that... Yeah. It's gonna be it's gonna be a season-long battle with everyone. Like, you can tell who's dropping off. Like, Nat Hammer's starting to eke the gap up to the top 4. But everyone else in the tier is just starting to crawl backwards a little bit. Yeah,
my boys had an absolute shitter tonight.
Dude, your guys off the start fucking sucked. I jumped them both before I even got to the start-finish line.
Both you Haas boys got such a good fucking launch.
I didn't get a good launch, but I had a good lap. I was up 6 places after lap 1.
They're so much easier this year, the starts.
Yeah, I had a much easier time last year. Like, my starts are okay this year. They're more consistent, but I definitely think last year was easier.
Oh.
Yeah, I was running medium traction control, but like even compared to other guys on medium traction control, I was still clearing them by a mile. Can I just
the early
ask? 'Cause
rounds is literally just about scoring points, like scoring good points. That's all it matters about. Like the first 10 rounds.
Wait, is
Can
that
I just
Whitey?
ask,
Did
what
Whitey
happened
just
on
come
lap
in?
1? Like with the Red Bull and the...
Oh, someone went around and then it was just dominoes, mate.
I didn't see what happened to Johnny M4, but I think M Stone collected him and then he just spun it around back onto the track and took out Darkness.
To be
Abyss.
fair, if
Oh yeah,
if
yeah.
we were
Well, M Stone's gonna cop the penalty for it.
Oh
if we
man,
were-
he absolutely fucked him.
He's literally just put his hand up, admitting he's at fault.
Oh mate,
Yeah,
So
I got some
done.
pretty good footage of it.
he just drove into the side of him, rejoining, and I was
Whoa!
mad. You fucking fucked my lad.
What the fuck?
What?
I just
You
saw
put it
the
in.
footage
What are you looking at, Venti?
of. Fucking hell! That was of darkness.
Is it in the?
It's in the tier 2
Discord?
reports.
Yeah, tier 2 reports.
M Stone has just come flying back at him like. He was lucky
Look at
not
this
to end
shit.
his race there.
Yeah, mate. How the fuck did his race not end? Emstone just fucked him.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
I'm gonna take the lead on that incident because that's
That's fucked.
straight up reckless driving.
That's straight dangerous rejoin.
Whoa! Wow.
Serious collision. Hold on.
Like fuck, I thought Moose was bad, but shit.
Hey!
Hey, he's here, mate. He's here.
Sneak in a drive-by.
Oh, it was Flourish and Johnny and 4. It looked like Johnny turned in on him.
That's not the biggest surprise.
Like Johnny just turned in on Flourish, and then just collected M Stone, and then M Stone just
Yeah,
fucking flicked it around.
do you know what? M Stone called it as well. Listen to the footage.
Johnny and Flourish are gonna crash here.
Wait
Yep,
for
there
it.
it
Too bad he
is.
didn't predict his own fucking crash.
And he's hit me. Fucking hell.
Okay, yeah, you got unlucky, but what you did was fucked.
I'm loving it.
So
Joey done a .3.
M Stone's I'm gonna whack him with a 15-second penalty and 3 license points.
Yeah, sounds good, mate.
That's job done.
Yeah, whatever, mate.
Have a
Gotcha,
good
mate.
night, mate.
Dude, you were gapping him pretty easy. I can tell that, and I wasn't even seeing their gaps. Because
You,
but once again, and this is what's done to me in 2 weeks in a row now. They battle like the race is ending on the lap that they're on, and for the second week in a row, like they've been like absolutely kind of ruined for it. Like the race in Bahrain, like excluding that late race safety car, Dino and